In the merciless environment of the desert that my pride calls home, community is paramount. We hunt together, we gather together, we protect each other, we prosper. Strange stars, arcane runes, superstitions, and blood maledicts. All the reasons why I had to leave, to face these elements alone. Until I met her, a Genasi woman. We said we'd protect each other, or something along those lines. I have a new pride now, and I will do what I can to not let my curse get in the way. Hopefully with their help, I can cure it, or at least learn to live with it.
Oh, hello there. No, don't mind the snake. Gypsum won't hurt you. Unless I ask him to. My name is Sivan. It's hard to say what I'm looking for exactly. All I know for sure is that I haven't found it. I believe that my mother may have the answers I seek, but I can't really confirm that until I actually meet her. However, I feel fairly confident that I'll find her. I've always had a knack for, let's call it, premonition. I remember sometimes as a child having dreams or strange feelings that seemed to guide me, sort of. Gut instincts that hinted at what may come, and they were usually right. But my father was a simple merchant and had no patience for such frivolity, as he would say, so I learned to just ignore it. Years later, after my father died, I wandered around for a bit until I finally landed in Boaz. It was there that my arcane training began. Well, training is a strong word. Let's just say I found an underground study group. There, I made a few friends, honed my skills, and finally started to feel at home in the world. After a few years, though, I realized that I had stopped learning new things. I had stopped growing. As hard as it was to say goodbye to my friends, I realized it was time to go and seek my next challenge. You see, upon my father's passing, I discovered a letter that was hidden from me, for many years apparently, and this is what has set me on my journey. I must prove myself. To what end? I don't know for sure. How do I intend to do it? I don't know that either. I'm not sure if I need to become more clever or more powerful, but I intend to do both.
What are you doing in this jungle? What? You want to know me? I am Conley. I think it means fire bat or something. That's what my friends say to me. My job is to make sure people don't come here, take away all the trees just to make another tavern because the old one started to smell funny, or start another war and have to build more walls just to burn everything in between you and they. I do this because my friends are good to me. They take care of me, raised me up from when I was found in this jungle with no memory and an empty stomach. They teach me to hunt and thank the things I hunt for helping me keep living. Though I like the big monsters of the desert more. They are fun to fight and make very good tools from their body. Big bugs especially. They say it is my job to tend to the balance. I like to think it means that you can keep being people and grow and build and all that, and my friends can keep being the free life that they are, so long as nobody push too hard on the other. My friends say I don't fully get what they mean, but they are happy I protect them, so this is what I do. Your old sultan respected this balance. Let's hope the new one does the same. Now, if you are a trader or nice person, you can go through. Otherwise, if you bring any harm to this place, I will make new tools from you. So tell me, what are you doing in this jungle?
Evening, good to meet you. Most folks know me as the Jackal of Zaracuda, but my friends they call me Jack, and I hope we can see each other as friends. You may know me as a spy and advisor, or you may have heard of me from that unfortunate assassination business. Well, why don't we put all that aside for now and get down to business? What can I do to help you out today?
We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 3 of The Legacy of the Lazuqu. We have some awesome stuff to show you tonight, but I think that's pretty much all I need to start with. Anyone else have anything to say before we get started? Thanks for being patient with us last week. Going once, going twice. All right. So, that's what I was going to do. Connor, would you like to give us a recap of last session?
Okay. Well, here are my notes. Number 1, we went to Halazon, in parentheses, capital, Zarakuda. Number 2, wind, in parentheses, bandits, attacking dude on the road to Halazon, parentheses, he had dates, his parents on an inn, and he gave everybody invitations to the fancy dinner. Point number 3, we go into the city. That's all I have. Point number 4, we go to the temple where Alhamara is supposed to be. In parentheses, she's a druid. She knows stuff. We want her to look into the water scarf. And then, oops, all bandits. So I hope that made sense, because that's what I have for my notes.
It'll have to do, I suppose. No, that was great. Thank you, Connor.
Oops, all bandits sounds like a I can't believe it's not butter ripoff.
It is in this world, at least. Well, awesome. Well, with that, everyone, we part the veil of reality as we join our party in the city of Halazon, where they have entered into a temple of a spirit god known as Tartaja, to look for a druid known by the name of Alhamara, who sometimes helps out here. They found that some of the plants that are common to this temple were somewhat destroyed or withered in different places, and they found that the inner temple was occupied by the bandits that they had seen earlier that day. They entered into the back of this temple after finding a suspicious activity up front, and then dispatched their attackers, and now find themselves in an empty sandstone temple. This whole building is probably about 300 feet at its widest point, and this main upper room is occupied by kind of a back corridor where you all are, and in the center of the room there is a couple of bridges that cross over these slightly green pools of water that are below you, bluish green, and above them is a large statue of a four-armed figure holding up these large tree branches from its limbs. You know that you have just dispatched, I want to say it was 5 different bandits that have occupied this chamber, and there were stairs down to one side that you remember watching one starting to run down. So, 13, Conley, Jackal, and Savan, what are you all doing?
Well, fortunately, if I remember correctly, 13 had successfully incapacitated the one who was trying to flee the fight, leaving us at least one living member.
Yes, there is one living member that you have in your, I guess 13's grasp.
Okay, so as the fight calms down, I'll let my my spore clouds start to kind of fade away and become much more naked or invisible to the naked eye. I'll keep my flame blade out for now, but I'll walk over towards the unconscious ne'er-do-well and look over at 13 and goes, "I'd like to borrow your claim for a second."
13 will motion a hand to the unconscious bandit. By all means.
Okay. I'll kind of like grab maybe a leg or an arm and start dragging it out the door we had come in from.
Okay.
And I'll bring it out to that little garden we had passed right before we entered, and kind of like position them right next to that little patch of dead plants from earlier.
Okay.
Once we're there, I'll sit down, kind of like squat down on the ground next to the person, and just kind of like lay the flame blade on their leg, kind of like searing at them to get them to wake up.
Okay. So this is kind of a short-haired, kind of like black garbed. Seems to be kind of a feminine figure with some kind of high cheekbones, and they currently seem to be completely knocked out. And as you kind of like position them next to this garden, and the flame blade you press against their leg, you hear her kind of go, stop, please, what?
Like hold the blade up towards their chin. I don't like people. They tend to do more harm than good to things that are trying to help them. Take plants, for example. They are there to give you the air you breathe and provide food for either you or something you will probably eat. And I know how to fix most things when they are sick. But this I don't understand. This is supposed to be a druid temple, and yet there is a plant right outside your building that is dying from something I don't know. So, tell me, why can you not keep this plant safe?
I think you misunderstand. We did not make this plant die. We simply went in to find the person here to question them. That's all, please. I did not make anything happen to this plant.
The person who you are looking for, they are the one who did this to the plant?
I don't know. It was like this here. I didn't even come to this way. Please.
I'm not very good at telling whether or not somebody is lying.
Would you like
But
to
I
make an insight
usually
check?
get mad when I find out later that they are, so I give you this chance. You know nothing about what has happened to this plant.
I didn't even see this plant, I promise.
What are we supposed to be doing with this person? I call out back towards the other people.
Ask them what they're doing here, I guess.
They said they are here to look for someone too.
Jacqueline's gonna like pop back out. Really? And
Want to talk to this one then?
yeah, I'm approaching them.
What do you want? I have nothing.
Now, like, just kneel down, which I'm already like half their size, so it's not. Now, who are you here to question?
I forget their name. It is something, Alimara? I'm not sure the name. We are just here to get the answers. That is it. It is,
And I'll take it that you were not able to find them.
I think that my friends are down there with them now if they found them.
So there are more of you. It's good to know.
I guess yes. Okay, fine. There is, but it wasn't our idea. It was the scary man in the long, tall, purple robe. It was not us.
Scary man in the long, tall purple robe.
Yes, he's doing some kind of dark magic of some sorts. I don't know. He's they call themselves the Cabal or something.
Well, shit.
Can I go now?
Of course. And I'll knock him in the back of the head. Knock him unconscious.
Okay. cold.
If this person wakes, you think they will try and come and give reinforcements for them?
Probably.
Then would it not be easier if we just...
Is there some type of town guard we could turn them over to?
Jackal, you would know that the main kind of like police force of the city is known as the Grand Wardens, and they're just kind of a very common kind of like, very military-driven kind of honored to the Sultan kind of thing. And you know that there's guards that are pacing, and there's different kind of like outposts that they have throughout the city.
We can. I am worried that if we start calling them right now, then whoever's down there gets what they want. We should make haste.
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna walk up. I still actually have my meteor spell going, so there's just 4 small meteors like orbiting around me and rotating. Personally, I don't want to get the cops involved. They usually suck pretty bad.
Yeah, they do.
I say we just, I mean,
Yeah.
could we just kill them, or what's the...
Maybe their bodies will fix and fertilize the plants here.
I mean, to be fair, they were going to kill us, so, like, I don't really feel that bad.
I don't like spilling blood whenever we don't have to.
We're also kind of in a temple.
Don't have to spill blood. We can just choke them until they die, and then
That's
no
what I'm
bleeding
saying.
happens.
See?
It's
Only gets it.
figure of speech.
Fine, well, I mean, we have to do something, or they're going to wake up and it's going to be a whole thing.
I mean, do
Just
we have to?
Stab, you know, just...
You know what? I'll take care of it. Grabs them by the leg and then just drags them out into the courtyard. We'll leave it up to the imagination.
Sure. Do you want to like just tie her up, or do you want to just?
Ties them up, stuffs them into an empty rain barrel, and then like puts the lid over it.
Okay, that is totally valid. You hear a thunk as their body just kind of plunks into the bottom.
It's a very uncomfortable, like, V pose.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, there are more in there. We need to take care of that. And Jackal is going to start heading back into the temple and heading down those stairs.
Sure.
I'll
Absolutely.
follow.
Okay.
Right.
So you come back into this large sandstone building, and you start creeping down the kind of like earthen stairs that separate the top layer from the bottom. As you do, you kind of enter into a similarly laid out floor as the one that you had started on, except for this one is on the level with the kind of like where the start of the pools are. There's like a solid at least 5 or 6 foot distance in between the bridges and the pools, and now you see it's kind of a large basin that encompasses most of this floor. And then as you descend down these stairs, you see a long hallway to your left that seems to have a cluster of 4 doors along them as you go down, lit by some torches.
Have I been here before?
You have. You know that at least, you don't know maybe the exact layout, but you know that there's a kind of like a room that they keep gardening tools in, kind of like a sleeping room, a library of sorts, that kind of thing.
Would any of these be like Alhamara's office? Or a place where we would expect to find her?
Yeah, so...
This was downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you know that Alhamara definitely is kind of like, this isn't her main base of operations, or yeah, because she's part of the Reclaimers. But when she does come, she uses the library as her main kind of like area of hanging out when she's not helping with the plants. And you know that is the farthest door down the hall.
And if I sneak up to that door and try to listen in,
Sure.
would I hear anybody?
Make me a perception check. Also, is everyone going quietly along this hallway, or is it just Jackal that is going?
Well, is Jackal moving quietly?
Yes.
Okay,
And,
well then
yeah,
I will
following
extinguish my flame blade and follow quietly.
Okay. Absolutely.
As quiet as a cat.
All
At
right.
3 a.m., knocking into everything. Sorry.
Calling out.
So
Are we?
what's everyone's stealth rolls? Just call them out.
Okay.
Anyone.
9.
Okay.
12.
Okay.
24.
Okay.
Natural 20 for a
Wow.
30.
I miss being a rogue.
Right.
I miss that.
Okay. Duly noted. So you all lead down the hall with Jackal in the front. Jackal, what'd you get on that perception check?
15.
Okay. Yeah, so as you creep down the hall, you pass by one of the doors that you know to be the kitchen, one of the doors that you know to be the kind of like sleeping area, and then you finally get all the way down the hall to the last door. And this one seems to be slightly ajar. You kind of like put your head up to this cracked door, and it is immediately apparent that there are voices on the other side of this. What you hear is kind of like a couple of unintelligible whispers to one another, and then you hear a kind of deep, commanding voice say, "If you were wise, you would tell us where it was. If not, I would be concerned for your records you have here."
Describe the person who's talking.
You're not currently able to see this person, but if you wanted to open the door further, you could.
Yeah, I would want to do that.
Okay, make me a sleight of hand check to try to avoid alerting someone.
16.
Okay. So you push the door open just a little bit more, just enough to get a little bit of a better view. And to your benefit, the flickering torchlight is kind of playing with the lights against the walls and kind of like casting shadows irregularly, and kind of obscures your movement. As you look in, you see a group of at least, it seems like about 6 people. And at the back of the room, you see your friend Alhamara and 2 people you recognize as priests of this temple that are tied up to 3 chairs and bound in some kind of strange glowing rope. In front of them, you see 2 members of what seems like these bandits you're not unfamiliar with at this point. And then lastly, you see a very tall figure clad in a purplish, kind of very ornate gold inlaid robe with a long, tall, cylindrical headpiece of some kind of cloth. It kind of seems to be a paler complexion, and this person seems to be the one talking directly to Alhamara. As you kind of open this, you hear Alhamara speak up, and she goes, "Look, I told you, this is the crystal. There's nothing left. This is the only emerald pools. I'm sorry I could not help you more." And this tall figure kind of like walks over to one side of this room, which, as you can see now, is as you knew, was a bit of a library with a bunch of different kind of like tomes inlaid of different like natural stone shelves. And he takes out a very large, ornate one, and he goes, "Now, I understand you have secrets to maintain. However, it'd be a shame if not revealing one could hurt the others." And with his hand, you see, just kind of a flaring of his fingers, and from it emits a greenish-blue flame that seems to just kind of hold itself in a figure directly underneath this book.
Would there be a way for me to get across the room behind him?
You could certainly try. It's going to be harder as you get closer, but yes, you could try so. None of them are facing you right now.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to like turn back to everybody else and just like put my hands up, just like hold on 1 second,
Okay.
and then try to do that.
All right. Make me a stealth check.
Does that natural 20 from earlier do anything for me?
Was that not for the original stealth check down the corridor?
It was.
All right. I'm going to give you advantage.
Thank you. 28.
Okay. Well, let's just do a little check. Okay. So you enter the room and kind of creep behind this tall figure as these two Wind members don't seem to be paying you any mind. And Alhamara kind of briefly sees you enter, but very kind of like quickly darts her eyes back to this figure. And she goes, "Look, I am sorry. This is there's nothing I can do. This is not my home." And as you do, you are able to get within 5 feet of this tall figure.
I would very much like to attack.
Okay.
Are we able to see like this from the door, or are we still too far
So
back?
whoever would be directly behind Jackal would be able to see the kind of like full scene. Everyone else would probably have to open the door further in order to fully get the view.
May I offer trying a bonus action before Jackal stabs this fella?
Sure, what would you like to do?
With the bonus action, I would like to hold up my hand and point towards the prominent figure in the room, and in primordial whisper, "Target," and cast Hunter's Mark on the enemy.
Okay. Sure. Let me check something real quick. Do you know if Hunter's Mark lets someone know that they're marked?
I don't
It
believe
does
it
not.
does.
Okay, cool. I just want to check. Okay, yeah, so you hear this kind of whisper in primordial from the door. And Jackal, how would you like to start things off?
I would like to attack with my short sword.
Okay, then I'll let that be the only kind of attack within the surprise round, but I'd like everyone to roll initiative as you roll your attack.
That was a 19 to hit.
Okay, that will hit. Okay. 1 second, let me just get a few things. Okay, Jackal, what's your initiative?
Natural 20 for a 24.
Okay, goodness gracious, Conley.
Sneak attack.
I do get sneak attack for this.
How about Conley?
16.
16. Sivan.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Wow, okay. And 13.
I got a 10.
Nice. Okay, so, Jackal, roll your damage on that attack.
$22.
Okay. How do you come up and attack this guy from behind?
I'm just like trying to creep up behind him and just thrust up because this dude's probably a lot taller than me.
Yes, absolutely. So this very tall figure, you kind of upward thrust into the his back. Immediately, you hear a ah as he drops this book, and this flame in his hand dissipates, and he immediately kind of like turns and says, "I should have known you had rats to your assistance." And I need to let's see who's next. I'm a jackal, not a rat. Anyway, next up is actually the top of the round with Jackal again. These two Wind members have now been aware of your presence as well, though, however. And, yeah, they're definitely kind of planning on surrounding you. They seem to be coming towards you. But you get another move, so...
Well, I was going to say the line, but now I don't want to.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Threw off the Jackal's groove.
I don't have anybody else, so I would like to take aim at this person. I don't think I'm moving away from him.
Okay.
What's a 26 get me?
26 definitely gets you a hit.
19 points of damage.
Okay, wow. So, yeah, this tall, dark figure seems to kind of like immediately recoil, kind of prepare himself for this, but you're able to get 2 attacks before he's even able to react. He kind of seems to turn around and he goes, "Ah! Gosh, this is not how this planned!" And he looks really mad. But it's not his turn yet, so Savan is next.
I'm gonna assume I heard all of that.
You did.
So-
You definitely know that combat is happening.
Okay. I am just gonna step beside Conley and kick the door open.
Absolutely.
Whoever's immediately in front of me that is not Jackal.
Sure,
whether-
I'll say
is
that's
that
a swift action to kick it open.
Okay. The guy. Do I see this person first, or do I see one of the henchmen?
You see one of the henchmen, because like as the door opens, it goes henchman, tall figure, henchman.
Got it. Do I have a line of sight on the one in the back?
The one in the back. Like the tall figure or the other 2 henchmen?
The other head.
Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That one back there. I'm going to, as a bonus action, send one of my meteors in their direction.
Okay.
So they have to make a dex save.
Sure. That's going to be an 18.
Well, that'll save. So they only take half of this damage. 11 cut in half. 5 points of fire damage.
Okay. You hear them kind of go as he kind of like gets it on his shoulder, but not a direct hit.
Okay, and then I'm gonna fire a bolt, the same guy.
Okay, go for it.
18 to hit.
18. Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah, get him.
2d10. Are you a d10? Yeah, you are. Oh, no, rolled onto the ground, so. 9 additional points of fire damage.
Okay. Yeah, this guy definitely seems like he's wounded. He kind of turns to you and kind of has like a definitely looks mad and coming towards you next. Is that your turn?
If I have any movement, is there enough space between us and the first person that I can get into the room?
Yes,
Or
yeah,
would I be getting into their melee range?
Yeah, so to give you a perspective, I'd say that the door's, just a normal, 5-foot door, but you enter into a chamber that's probably about 20 feet wide and about 50 feet long, and it's kind of spread out through that, but there's a solid 20 feet without anyone there. Yeah, so
Perfect.
You can definitely
Just
filter
gonna
into the room.
scoot around the edge of the room a little bit to get out of the way.
Sure. Okay, next up is this tall, dark figure, and he kind of looks very pissed off, looks at Jackal, and he goes, "I do not appreciate such rude behavior, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw."
Ooh.
Jackal, this tall figure seems to have this commanding presence, not only because of his height, but as he kind of looks down at you, you see a glint of the same color of fire, a green, blue fire erupt into his eyes. And as you look into them for a second, it seems like ice kind of filters through your eyes and onto your face until it's numb, and it continues down your body until suddenly you find yourself frozen in place. You cannot move, are paralyzed. And as this happens, he kind of looks down at you and goes, "Huh, that's better." And that will be his turn. Next up is the wind member that Savan attacked, who is going to immediately turn to Savan, thanks to her rude kind of welcome, and is going to come up to you with a scimitar attack, a couple actually. First one
Sweet.
is going to be an 11.
No?
Second one is a 21.
Well,
I believe
Sure.
that'll hit. Okay.
yeah.
That is going to be
Where's my spores? There they
a
are.
pretty good roll. 12 points of slashing damage as
Rude.
he gets a swipe across your chest.
Ow!
But that is going
Now
to be...
that it's all close, it's got to make a con saving throw as it entered my spore range.
Okay. Let's do it. He made a 13.
Hooray, it's a fail. All right. So that is upgraded to, is it upgraded to D6 or is it, let me just confirm, symbiotic. Double damage. Okay, cool. That's even better. So that is a total of 4 necrotic damage.
Okay. He definitely looks annoyed by this swarm. Is it the spores or the swarm? Sorry.
It's the spores.
Okay, these spores kind of like, he kind of seems to starts to kind of cough up this gross gunk. Then is going to be the other one member who is going to step over to see the jackal frozen in place and kind of has a smile on their face. They seem to come over and take 2 daggers and go 1-2. And unfortunately, because of the paralysis, they will have advantage. First one is going to be a 23 to hit.
That's a crit.
A crit. Oh, right. Yeah, it's an auto
if you
crit.
hit it,
Paralysis.
yeah.
That's right. I
If it
forgot
hits,
about
it's a
that.
crit.
Right. And then the second one is a 17 to hit.
That's a crit.
Okay.
Oh boy!
So the first hit is going to be 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And the second one is going to be 7 points of piercing damage. How is
Okay.
Jackal looking right now?
On a scale from 1 to 33, is that a 2?
Okay. Jackal looks very badly bloodied. But that is going to
Like,
be...
he's still like this, but like there's just like a little tear going down his eye.
All right. Next up is going to be Conley.
Okay, so there's now someone up in melee range at this door here.
Yep.
How hard would it be for me? How hard would it be for me to try and squeeze past these people 3 to get inside the room?
So you can move through friendly space, as such as savans, without needing to do anything differently. The second that you move into the room, you will be in range of this attacker's threatened space. So if you moved one more time from that, you would provoke an attack of opportunity.
Well, that's fine, so long as I entered the room.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so then the other 2 enemies in the room now should be in range of my spores, so they'll join the con saves.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Do they need to make con saves now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just like sitting here. I thought you were deciding what to do. I thought it was at. Is it at the beginning of your turn or is it?
When they first enter the space of the
Okay.
spores, and then every time at the end of their turns.
I'm just jamming the music and I'm like having a great time. So one of them got a 6 and the other one got a 15.
Okay, so the one that got a 6 is going to take 6 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And then now that I'm in the room, I'm going to. How messed up does Tallboy look?
Tallboy looks like he's got some blood on him, but is not fully, not like quite down for the count yet.
Okay, I'm going to disregard the upcoming attack of opportunity to squeeze past the person up next to Sivan
Okay.
to close the distance between me and the person that just double shivved Jackal.
Okay, so you said you are going to take the attack of opportunity?
I will accept.
Okay, let's see if they hit. With the scimitar, they got a 17 to hit.
That does.
Okay. That is going to be 11 points of slashing.
All right. A collection of spores like condenses and takes the majority of that strike before even touching my flesh.
All right. Dope.
And then so now that I am up close to this person, I'm going to grab my spear by 2 hands and just try and drive it into them.
Sure, go for it.
Rolling a 13 to hit.
That will unfortunately not hit.
Okay. And then that is all for Conley.
Okay. Next up is, last but not least, our pal 13.
Yay, let's get gross. 13 rages as a bonus action.
Sure.
And as he does so, you can see that his chin, a line draws between the bottom of his lip all the way down to his throat as it splits predator style.
Okay.
Body horror.
And he's going to go start biting at the person who's on top of Savan.
Okay, so you enter into the room and very quickly you see Savan and this attacker. Maybe...
First attack.
Yeah.
25 to hit.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
For 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Yeah. Solid
And
swipe.
a natural 20.
Okay, y'all
On
don't
the
need any
second.
crits. You just roll them. Okay, go for it.
For a 15.
All right. So you take 2. Is it 2 big swipes with your claws? Or
It's
bites?
2 big bites.
2 big bites. Gross. Yeah. So this attacker kind of like just engaging Savan takes these massive bites. You get kind of 2 large clumps of flesh out of their chest, and he kind of goes ah, just like coughing on spores, taking 2 massive bites. He's not having a good time.
And 13 will just turn spit and just say, "You taste as foul as you look."
Ooh, he needs to take some morale damage at that point. Okay, next up is back to the top of the round with Jackal. Oh yeah, would you like to make a wisdom saving throw to resist it again?
Do I get to do that every turn?
You do.
Natural 20.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you break out. And unfortunately, you do get to do that at the end of each of your turns.
Right.
So you are out, and kind of you feel this icy grip kind of leave your body, but you are exhausted to the point where you still are pretty lachrymose after your stasis. Anything you say before you... I'll let you say anything if you want.
Unfortunately, I'm not that good at staying still.
All right. Next up is Savan.
All right. I'm still within this individual's melee range, am I not?
You are.
Okay, well, that's a big old bummer.
But 13 is on the other side.
You know, I'm gonna Misty Step just out of here because I'm not really into this.
I also want to mention, you know that this guy, this person, did take an attack of opportunity against Conley, which means that they would not have a reaction to attack you with if you were to try to leave their space.
I would know that because I'm tactical like that. So I'm not gonna Misty Step. I'm just gonna head out, and I'm gonna probably put a good 25 feet of distance.
Are you going
But I
deeper?
want to. Yeah, I want to hug the wall though, so I'm not like running into the room. I'm trying to stay on the outskirts.
Okay, yeah, you can go up against kind of a natural stone bookcase built into the wall.
Beautiful. Okay. And I'm gonna. You know what? 13. He's got this. I'm not even worried. So I'm gonna go for the other one. That's double teaming Jackal, the other henchman.
Okay, go for it.
And I'm gonna do the same move if it ain't broke. So first I'll send the meteor first.
Okay, dex save. 16.
Hot dang, they are good at those. And a firebolt.
It still is half damage though, right?
Not on the. Oh wait, on the meteor does it?
You
I
said
know
it
on
last time.
Firebolt it does.
Oh,
Firebolt
okay.
it does. Oh, it does on meteor too. Shh. So 3 points of fire damage from that.
Okay. I think the firebolt might just be only if it hits because it's a cantrip.
Yes, you're right. You're right. So 3 points on that one, and then a 21 with the firebolt.
That'll definitely hit.
I need to just leave the d8s. D10s. 12 points of fire damage.
Sivan, how would you like to do this?
Honestly, very unceremoniously, just like no. Pew pew.
Okay. Yeah, so this one was kind of like enjoying having an open target, and from behind you hear kind of like you see a quick and a small bolt of fire followed by a big bolt of fire, completely knocking this person off their feet. You go ah! And completely cough themselves out on the ground.
Yikes. That's it for me.
Okay, next up is this tall figure. This tall figure looks down at Jackal that is broken out of this spell, and he kind of takes this original kind of smirk and turns it back into a bit of a frown. He goes, "As much as I'd like to take you apart, limb by limb, I have more pressing matters to get to. Now, if you'll excuse me," and he takes his hands and kind of makes a kind of a gesture with his hands, and then claps above his head, and then suddenly a smoke kind of like plume erupts from his feet, and as Jackal right next to this plume kind of like looks in to see what happened, you don't see his form there anymore. It seems as though he has disappeared. Next up is going to be the first henchman, who is engaged in this split-mouthed Leonin that has just ferociously attacked him. And he's going to kind of be taken back. Back! And he's going to take 2 attacks with his scimitar against you. First one is a 17, the next one is a 23, 13. Oh,
Okay.
wait. Did you do Reckless, by the way?
Yes, so
Okay.
they would be at advantage.
Okay, so it would be the 23 for the first one, and a whopping 13 for the second.
The second one does not hit, thankfully.
Okay. That is going to be 9 points of slashing damage as it kind of tears across your chest. But as he takes this last swipe, he surveys the room, sees that he is the last of his companions around, and is going to try to back away from you. Not carefully, though, so it would provoke an attack of opportunity.
Chomp. 9 probably doesn't hit. Also, that's a critical fail.
It does not hit. You kind of take a desperate swipe, but this person backs away, and he kind of like tears off down the hallway through the door and seems to sprint back up towards the stairs. He's about 60 feet away from you, but that is his turn. Next up is Conley.
So this target fled and is trying to run back the way we came and up the stairs.
Yep.
Okay. Well, for my first trick, I'm going to run out into the hallway so I can still have eye contact or like line of sight on it.
Okay.
And for my bonus action, I'm going to point at it and call out in primordial target to shift my hunter's mark onto my new one.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna like pull out a boomerang and a javelin real quick from my hips and kind of quickly look over at Jackal and do kind of like a lethal not
Non-lethal.
eat. I'm just gonna throw this boomerang down the hallway at the enemy, and never mind the logic of it returning somehow in a linear room, a corridor.
Sure.
So let's see here. Boomerang.
You look
Zelda physics.
Yeah, for real.
Unfortunately, it is an 11,
That will not hit.
and missed attacks returned to my hands, so I will just catch it and kind of just grimace a little.
Sure. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, next up is 13.
All right. So 13 is going to run down the hallway, scoop up Connolly so that they are on his shoulder, and double move.
Okay, it'll be an action to pick him up.
Okay. Or actually, 13 will sprint on all fours and motion for Connolly to hop on.
Would I be able to, DM?
Not normally, but I'll give it to you this time.
All right.
I'm alright, my new kitten friend.
Wait, no. Hold on.
Oh, we killed!
Alright, so what do you, anything else, 13?
Trying to keep pace with this fleeing figure.
Okay, you're able to pretty much catch up with them as you're kind of like right on their heels. Next up, back to the top of the round, is Jackal. You no longer have this dark figure in front of you. You have no assailants, and Alhamara and the two priests are sitting there, wide-eyed at the scene in front of them.
Are they still bound?
They are.
I would like to unbind them.
Okay, you see that originally there was a kind of glowing property to this rope, but it seems to have kind of dissipated, and they're bound with like 3 different layers, but you're able to take a quick swipe with your dagger and free them. And you hear kind of like Alhamar go, "Oh, Jackal, it is good to see you."
It's just one second, man. He's gonna run out.
Okay. You're able to get kind of like within 30 feet of the rest of them.
Bonus action to dash.
Okay, you're able to catch up. Next up is Savan.
So is there anybody left in this room? Or did everybody leave?
Everyone except for the priests and Alhamara.
And you.
My friends look really far, don't they?
They're like 60 feet, yeah. Most of the hallway down.
Okay, I will reluctantly just be like, oh my goodness, and I'll take off in that direction. I'll follow suit.
Okay.
But if I get 30 feet, can I see everybody or
Yeah, you can see them.
Okay, but is the rest of my party in my way?
No, not really. You can still kind of see a clear view of your enemy.
Okay, I'm just gonna do my 30 feet of movement and same moves.
Go. Okay. Dex save 7.
That is a failure. So the first meteor launches forward and explodes for 6 points of fire damage.
Okay, Savan. Would you like me to describe this, or would you like you?
You do it.
Okay, so originally Jackal and Conley and 13 all tear down the hall. 13 leading the charge with Conley jumping on his back. Jackal's right on their heels, and as everyone darts out of the door and is just about to jump on this last attacker, just a quick little flit of fire comes from behind, weaves in between each of your companions, and from the back knocks this person over right as your companions run directly up to them. And they don't seem to be moving anymore.
Oops.
All bandits.
And that is out of combat. Now you all are out of combat. Back to the serenity of the gurgling pools within this temple.
While still riding 13, I'll look over at the corpse and quickly look and point at Jackal, while also kind of like unconsciously, like just there's a cat in front of me, so I'm gonna scratch its head a little and be like, "There was no bloodshed. That was fire."
I don't know if the gods really care one way or the other. Anyway.
You see that Alhamara has walked out of the door, and she goes, are you all coming back?
I mean, I guess.
Please, it is the least I can do. Please, come.
I'll dismount 13.
Well, first things first, she kind of goes up to Jackal, and you all get finally a clear glance of Alhamara. And Alhamara seems to be kind of an older, slightly hunched over female figure with a kind of like ashen gray hair and a bit of a kind of like sandy tan garb with a kind of like green pendant in the center across a sash. And she goes, "Oh, you get a hug for that one. Come here!" And goes up to Jackal. You've never hugged her before, but if you wish, she's offered you a hug.
I will not resist, but I am very bloody.
I was like,
She is not deterred by this and comes up and gives you kind of like a pretty firm for an old lady hug, even with the blood still pouring out. It probably hurts a bit.
wow.
Ow.
Oh, that looks like it hurts. Here, one second. You should have said something. And she kind of takes her hand and from it kind of waves it over. And she's going to cast Cure Wounds on you.
Oh, nice.
And you regain 11 points of hit points.
Okay, well, while they're hugging, I figure special robe. Maybe he's got some special stuff. Can I see if he has anything interesting in his pockets?
Who are you referring to?
The guy in the purple robe.
The
got
guy in
away.
the purple robe disappeared in a puff
Oh.
of smoke.
Then the one right in front of us.
Okay, sure. Yeah, make me a quick. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. You rifle through this garb, this black robe, and you find like 3 gold coins and a small note scribbled up in a small little bottle. When you open it, it kind of says, "Follow the man to this druid," and kind of like has some very nondescript instructions past that.
I'll throw the note away, but I might keep the glass bottle.
That's totally fair. It's just like a small little vial. So,
Okay, perfect.
as Alhamara kind of like heals Jackal, she goes, "Well, you all have quite the good timing. Please, Rama, please, can you please get our guests some tea? I know that you just got out, but there's good time for tea. Trust me." And one of the priests kind of come out and kind of very frazzled, like, okay. Kind of look, goes into a side room, which you know to be the kitchen. And she goes, "Please, won't you come in? Come. We must talk."
We do need to talk.
Oh, did you
No
come
problem.
visit on a purpose?
Yes, I did. Are we all there?
Yeah, you all are in the corridor. If you all are good to follow her, she takes you kind of into the communal living space and kind of the room with a bunch of kind of like beds and cots. And from on the side, there's like a table with a bunch of cushions that she motions to sit on around this kind of wicker table. And she goes, "Those people are so silly. They think that they're going to get secrets out of me. They think that wind member, they think they're going to push down a great tree of a druid. That is just, it's very funny. It's like they think it's the first time that I have been captured before."
Now, what information were they trying to get out of you?
Oh, that is the concerning part. I think that something is concerning them about the spirit crystal that leads to the pools. You see, our pools, and she kind of like takes out this crystal that she was hiding in her robes. She goes, "This one is supposed to go into our pools," and what you see is kind of like a large crystalline, like maybe 6 inches on its like height, and then kind of peaks into 2 triangular, edges, and it's very well chiseled all around. It seems to just have a very faint kind of like, it's mostly clear and translucent, but it has a faint kind of like tracing of green that almost like blood veins through it. She goes, "But this one is not as powerful as the one that we get the water from, which is in the well down below." But I was not going to tell them that. But it's unfortunate and coincidental they asked me about that. You see, unfortunately, the water, there's something wrong with it. It is not working as it used to. You see, it's a regenerative water. It's supposed to help grow and keep things alive, but sometimes it has killed things, and I do not know why.
And now that you... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, is this what is hurting the plants outside? Say the water is hurting things?
Oh, yes, that you noticed. Wow, you must have a keen eye. Yes, unfortunately, the water sometimes kills a plant and sometimes even hurts a person. There was someone who drank the water and, well, we had to heal them for a long time and get some kind of dark goop out of them before they came back to. It was very disturbing.
Dark goop.
Yes.
I feel like, okay, but you're telling us so much. You said that if they caught you, you would never tell the secrets, and you're telling us a whole bunch of secrets right now.
Oh, well, besides the crystal down below, but no one knows where it is. The goop, that is no secret. Anyone who's tried this water, you understand that many people come to this temple to use the regenerative water here, but I cannot guarantee that it is as pure as it used to be. It is very unfortunate.
If it is hurting people and plants, why would you let people still drink from it?
Oh, we do not always. I only let the purest ones that we can find. I boil it and cast enchantments around it until I know it is good, but it is just hopeful at this point. You can tell that sometimes the water has a black look to it, and I avoid that at all costs. There's some very disturbing, it seems to be some kind of poison or ichor. There's something messing with the well. It is quite unfortunate. Though, if I've been looking for someone to investigate why, if you are interested.
We can go look at it.
Well, this is the secrets that I was talking to you about before, but Jackal, perhaps you would like to introduce your friends before I go spouting the secrets of the Reclaimers.
It's Conley, Sivan, and 13.
It is
They
nice to
were
meet you.
they were with me and they found something that I think we need your opinion on. Sivan, do you still have it?
Yes, but if we show you this secret, are you for sure going to take us to the well? Because that sounds pretty cool.
Well, yes, it is more than a well, young one. It is quite a beautiful, magical place. It is called the Crystal Caves of Kolios, and, it is a very important spiritual place, but there is much to tell. Please, and, finally Rama brings in, kind of a set of teaware with a large pot and different kind of small little mismatching teacups. And pours each one of you a cup, even if you didn't ask for it, and sets it in front of you. It's kind of like a steeping brown and greenish smelling tea, and it or looking tea, and it smells of kind of like some thyme notes and like some kind of citrus, but it smells pretty good.
After hearing all this talk about danger water, Conley's just gonna push the glass back into the center of the table.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, just to be clear, this isn't made with the pool's water, I promise.
13 is already drinking. Pauses.
Just watching your
Continues
face for signs of like poisoning. Oh my god.
I mean, Jackal drinks it. Does Sivan pull out the thing?
Yeah, I hand it over to Jackal. You can hang on to it. This is your thing.
All right, and I'll show it to Alamara.
So you pull out this scarf, and the second that Sivan pulls the scarf out of her bag and hands it to Jackal, you immediately, she's tracking it with your eyes, and then when you show it to her in full regalia, you see her eyes turn into these massive dinner plates, and her jaw goes limp. She goes, is it? Jackal, do you know what? Do you know what you have? Oh my goodness!
It's a really ugly scarf.
Oh my goodness!
I figured you would be the one to tell us.
Oh, the good. You have not. Oh my goodness! She's just absolutely flabbergasted. She goes, "We need to close the door. Close the door." She kind of like points whoever's closest to the door to close the door behind you. But she looks both,
closes the door.
she looks extremely both like excited and shocked and completely overwhelmed. She goes, "Oh, I did not think that this was ever to happen, that these were all gone. This was not supposed to be. Where did you find this scarf? It is... Oh."
Ma'am, tell us the significance about this.
Well, this is obviously the scarf of the Wayfinders of Twilight, don't you know?
Does that ring a bell?
I was like, have I ever heard of that?
So, most of you who have lived in the general region of Zarakuda for any period of time, well, anyone who's familiar with any kind of like Sultan stuff, you would have heard the whispers of this group called the Wayfinders of Twilight, and you remember that about 100 years ago there was a large kind of like betrayal from the leader of Garota. And, well, you know that basically the leader of Garota slaughtered this group of clerics known as the Wayfinders of Twilight. But that's mostly all you remember. But you could ask her for more.
Alright, so what would one of these scarves be doing?
Oh, well, that is the best part, do you understand? The Wayfinders, how much do you know of the magic of this world, young ones?
I
not my
produce
thing.
flame in my hand. And no magic.
That is good. That is a great step. Do you know about the spirits of this world?
I look down at at Piri in my little bottle. I know of them.
Well, that's a good start. You see, our world we call Arasha, the material world, and then there is the spirit world known as Ravea. And well, the Wayfinders of Twilight were the keepers of balance, the peacekeepers, the ones who go in and make sure that the climate and the monsters and everything is all in check. And you see, have you noticed the worsening deserts and issues going on around here? Well, that is because of the broken connection with Ravea. And well, the Wayfinders of Twilight were the only ones to hold these sashes called the Sash of Passage. And well, it allowed you to go into the spirit world, Ravea, and see the world yourself without worrying about your soul being taken from you. You see that Ravea is the plane of souls, and as humans we are both physical and spirit. And if you stay too long without one of these sashes, well, you could lose yourself and come back as a husk of a person and have your soul separated from your body. But they were gone, they were destroyed when Zardos killed all those clerics, but now, this is the last one in existence. They made them for each other, but people can go to the spirit realm now. This is completely changes what we can do.
So it's worth a lot of money then, is what you're saying.
No, you would not sell this. I would not let you.
Well, we found it, not you.
I'm sorry, I would not let you do that. I would have to do everything I could. You understand, this could be the fate of our world and the spirits. It's very important. Yes.
We will make sure that you all are compensated fairly.
You're talking to us?
Yes.
Oh.
She kind of nods to 13. Yes, please. What?
For those of us less informed in the room, what is the importance of the spirit realm?
Oh, well.
Never heard of this place.
Depends on who you ask.
It is one of the most important things. Have you ever gone up to a plant that is thriving and seen why it is so full of life, or been to a decrepit, awful swamp and seen that it is dying? There is much connection to every living thing in this world, and it has its parallel and reflection in Ravea. It can be as important to diagnose why curses happen to people if they step into the world. It can be the reason why someone can never really find themselves if their soul has been separated. It is full of magic, and it is the bridge to the afterlife. It is very important.
If you say so.
Well, yes, of course. What do you mean? Trust me, this is, well, I think finally I can figure out why the water is tainted. You see, the water that comes from the spring is part of what's known as a ley line, which is the thing that brings magic from our world to Ravea and back. And well, if it is tainted, then we could potentially not see why in our world, but only see what happens in Ravea. But ever since these clerics have been dead, no one has passed over. No one has seen what is wrong.
Alright, so you want it.
Well, I suppose if so, but I would not be one to carry on. I would wish who found it originally. Where did you find it?
Does she know about the prison?
You might suspect that she would know something about the prison.
Yeah, but he'll say the name, which I remember.
Sure, absolutely. You can just say, you can call it the ruined prison, because that's kind of like how a lot of people regarded it. But it's kind of more of a secretive thing. But I could pull up the name just a sec if you wanted it.
He'll just say it.
Zagraz, that's it. Zagraz prison.
Where we also found a lot of Blackacre and death.
Oh, that is disturbing to say the least. Was there not a large spirit being kept there or something?
Not that we saw.
Well, that is concerning. I had presumed that is what that was for.
Well,
Yes, there was supposed to be something called a shadow that was there, but it was not when we got there.
Oh, I see. Wait, there's tales long before my time, and even before the time of Zordos. One of these wayfinders had been there and potentially sealed away this dark shadow. That could have been the last time that it was seen, and why their scarf was there, but no one had ever opened up that chamber since it had been magically sealed.
Well, the seal was not there whenever we went in.
I have now a trepidatious appreciation of what has happened. You see, it is great to have this scarf, but if the seal was broken, then that means the shade inside might be free.
So do you want the scarf or not?
Oh, absolutely, but you see, I'm a bit frail to be traveling to the spirit world alone.
Ma'am, do you want the scarf or not?
Sure!
We have things we are supposed to be doing right now.
Well, absolutely, I will take care of it to a great effect, but if you wish to help me take a journey into Ravea, I cannot go alone.
We're going in there through the crystal caves, or
There is a pool there that can let you cross over, yes.
Like tug at Jackal's sleeve. What does any of this have to do with the new Sultan?
well, we need to pass the time, don't we?
Yeah, but we could do that at the fancy hotel.
The Sultan has a lot of concerns with this too, you understand. If the monsters and desert threats keep worsening, then, well, there could be no need of a Sultan in complete anarchy. If there's nothing done about the fragile consumption of the spirit world, well, there will be nothing left here, you understand?
I have
just
never
tell us
eaten
first.
anything from this spirit world.
Have you not detected that the magic has been weakening and being strange, or have you ever seen visions that have gotten worse in the recent times? Is that not ringing any bells for you?
13 coughs.
It's not, right? Or is it?
It's a little uncomfortable for B, but I don't have enough answers yet.
So none of y'all are saying anything. 13 gives a cough. Yeah. Yes. Did you say something?
I have been having strange dreams recently.
Like stranger than
Strange,
normal?
I dream of a spire out in the desert, sloping stairs leading up to it. Typically, I wake up covered in scratches and not from bug bites.
This
So that's fun.
This does not sound like any normal nightmare. This could be connected, but wait, what is that? What is your mark? She gestures to 13's kind of forehead.
You lift it. Have you seen this before?
Oh, I think I've heard of this before. It is this part of your tribe, or where did you...
Not his head. I was born with this mark.
Oh, it looks as though one of the ancestral curses. I've heard of different Leonin tribes throughout the nomadic desert, but I've never seen one in person.
Those, by the sounds, that's bad.
Yes, not all Leonin can... Bleh.
Oh, is that what that was? I was wondering if that was a normal day for you.
Typically, yes, for me.
I see. Well, I would not have been able to give you any answers before. However, with this scarf, well, many more answers open the possibility of being answered. That didn't make any sense, but I'll go with it.
Can we go see the poison water, or...
Sure. Yes, I can show you the pools and then the well. Well, we will have to go into the city's aqueducts down far below if you wish to follow me to the crystal caves. It is getting late. We can do this tomorrow if you wish. I do appreciate you saving me from these stupid wind members.
I mean, it's up to you guys.
I have to do some thinking, so I think we can take some time if we are supposed to be waiting anyway.
Would you like to stay here for the night? We have plenty of cots.
Did we already have a place? Can't remember.
We do have the name of the very fancy inn.
That's where I'm going to go. If we're just gonna take the evening, I might go up there. If you guys want to hang out here, that's totally cool.
Also, I live here, so.
Okay, well that works out for you then.
So, what fancy inn are you talking about?
You know, the one, the name that I know. I don't think I wrote it down.
It's like the palm tree
Does anyone
or something.
remember it? Are you talking about the mango tree?
That's
Mango
the
tree.
one. That's the one.
Oh, well, the mango tree is one of the most nice places to stay that you could ever afford to stay in. It would take, a lot of my earnings to even stay there a night, let alone a week.
Well, I mean, how much is it though?
Oh, I would say at least 100 gold a night.
Ugh. Is that a lot?
Yeah.
It's
It's a
kind
lot.
of a lot.
Okay. We'll stay outside. I can do it like normal.
Well, I presume, are you all in here just for the coronation?
Yes.
It is a good reason to be here. It is what, 3 days from now?
Oh my gosh,
Or
3 days.
I guess it is 2 after today.
Ugh, that's so long.
It's kind of long.
If you did wish to accompany to the caves, it might take a good part of a day, so you would have just 1 day to run the city, and then you would be ready for the coronation.
Okay.
I mean, it is quite the opportunity of a lifetime to step into the spirit pools with this scarf, you understand? It has not been done in ages. I have to dust off the books that let me do the spirit magic to cross over. I'm so excited.
Oh, good. I'm glad for you.
Me too.
We'll we'll let you do that.
Would you like to meet me here or at the school in which I teach normally?
How about here?
Okay.
No way he is.
Do you want to go at the break of dawn, or do you have other things to take care of?
Hugs on Sivan's sleeve. Bath bomb.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what we're doing. We'll catch up with you guys in the morning. Dawn is fine. And I'm gonna just drag 13 down the hallway out of here.
Okay. Absolutely.
I always thought ley lines was a map of people that you've slept with.
That's no, okay, but that's the punchline. So you say like, oh, they know about them ley lines. You know what they say about the ley lines, and then that's you finish it with that. Yeah, you got it. You get it.
So, what do you all wish to do now? You know that, you remember the merchant said to stop by the mango tree if you wanted to be thanked by their family. Jackal has plenty of potential places to stay in his purview based on his position. And you all have the rest of the night to do what you wish. It is getting... it is pretty much nightfall right now, though.
Well, I'd like to go and check on Canoe and see if they are okay.
Sure, absolutely. I believe you left them out front with bear traps in the saddle, or in the bags. But you see that, similar to a lot of different animals on this local residential ring of the city, it is exactly where you left it, tied up to, I believe, a lamppost, we said.
Okay. Bear traps are still armed?
You look inside and find them untouched.
Okay. I'll take the time to disarm and reset the traps and put them back safely into the packs. And I will unhitch Canoe and kind of just walk them out of town until I can get far away enough that guards won't give me crap for sleeping on the floor. That's plenty of travel time for now.
Sure. Anyone else?
We're going to the mango tree.
Okay. How about Jackal?
I'm gonna follow them to the mango tree.
Okay.
And make sure that they are able to get a room.
So it seems like they're kind of leaving the temple a bit ahead of you. How are you trying to catch up?
I have ways.
You're just kind of walking behind them, not telling them that you're there, or are you kind of...
No, I was just gonna leave with them. But
okay. Sure. Yeah. So Conley kind of finds a nestled place among the kind of like alleys of the streets, and is that right, Conley?
Oh no, I'm going to walk myself and Canoe out of town.
Oh, okay.
And go camping.
Sure, absolutely. You probably take a solid 20 minutes to get back to the outskirts of town through the bustling different streets. Still kind of a little bit of life to them and late night, but a lot more empty than you saw earlier. But after you kind of leave the kind of like large marble arches, you find a kind of small collection of boulders and a few palm trees that make a nice little, place to pitch a tent.
Okay. Then I will start my my nighttime setup. Once I have like my camping kit ready and have looked around to make sure I am just the only humanoid in the area, I will take the time to open up my sleeves and pant legs to let my little elemental friends out to fill out the room and create a starry sky again. And then I'll take the glass bottle and pop the cork open, letting Piri come out. And very seriously, I will look at Piri and go, "Do you know about sauce?
Piri.
Have you ever heard of a place called... Was it Lavea or Ravea?
Ravea.
Ravea. Have you heard of a place called Ravea?
But you have never told me of this place before. Do you think that this is maybe the reason why you and your friends are getting sick? That seems like something I could have learned earlier. That is fair. Okay. I don't know. Does everybody have a soul? You have a soul. I have a soul. How would I know what my soul looks like? I have never heard about it until now. I don't like people, you know this. But do you think we should go do this? Do you think this will be helpful for you? We could learn about these souls. Okay. Okay. We do this in the morning then. Try and rest. We'll figure this out in the morning.
As you kind of like collect your thoughts before you kind of lay down, Piri kind of floats up, hops up your arm up to your shoulder, and kind of like stops at atop your head as you kind of lay down to sleep for the night.
I kind of just like ponder on this revelation as I like go to doze off. Like this is a world I've never heard of, and I'm starting to question how my magic works and all that. And that'll be what occupies my mind as I drift off.
All right. Next, we come to this group of 3 strolling down the streets of Halazan. You kind of find yourself in the center ring of the city in this residential kind of quarter. And you now find yourself en route to the mango tree. I'm going to leave it there because, yeah. Jackal, you would know where this is.
Right. You cut out for a little bit there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was it a direct question?
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying that you know where it is, but I don't know if the other 2 do. But you're starting your journey just walking down the street. You know that, Jackal, you would know that it's in the inner ring, kind of in the fancier neighborhood, towards the center where the palace and the ziggurat are. But, yeah.
I'll point him in the right direction.
Sure. So you all kind of like take down the street, enter into one of the kind of the main pathways that lead from one ring to the next. Enter into a very ornate archway of more marble, and kind of emerge into the inner ring, where you immediately see a difference when it comes to the kind of cleanliness of this region. A lot more well-built and very fancy made housing, very ornate businesses. The people that are walking this area at night seem to be wearing very well-made and crafted robes. You definitely see some politicians, Jackal, among the Sultan's courts, things of that nature. And you take a few, maybe 5-10 minutes, and arrive at kind of like a hill of stairs that is not uncommon, takes up a small portion of this ring. And along the stairs, you find kind of an alleyway of a few different businesses, and at the very back of it, you come to a courtyard along this slope, and alongside it, standing straight up, you see a massive, ornate kind of inn built of 2 different spires of kind of like duplicated rounded roofs that kind of stack up on each other. So it's like 2 stacked roofs of 2 towers next to each other that seem to be made of either kind of housing or some sort of seating. And then underneath you find a very large building that's looks like a very, very fancy hotel of this type of in the city. You kind of see that there's a long, big courtyard and kind of people sitting outside on benches and chairs, drinking different types of spirits, torches in the courtyard as well, and then kind of two guardsmen that stand in front of the large oak doors.
probably the fanciest place I've ever seen.
Yeah, how do y'all react to this in the moment? Like, this is a really fancy establishment.
Big. It's gaudy.
I know, but like, there's something in my soul. I belong here. I can tell. These are my people. I'm pretty sure.
For some reason, I'm craving papaya daiquiris.
That sounds amazing. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay, you come up to the oak doors and you see these two figures that are standing in front of them. Kind of open these two doors in front of you, kind of bow and usher you inside. You come to find yourself kind of in front of a large reception counter with kind of hanging lanterns among it. Very fancily dressed attendant at the desk, and very fancy clientele kind of bustling here and there. As you come up to the counter, you see a woman in kind of like long dark hair. She goes, "Yes, welcome to the Mango Tree. Can I, she kind of eyes you all, being less dressed than everyone else. Can I help you tonight?"
Your boss said we had 3 rooms.
I'm sorry?
What my friend means to say is that, does this woman, Or does
Yes,
this,
this woman. Mm-hmm.
does this, gentle person, look like they are of relation to the person that we saved?
Doesn't seem to immediately have any kind of familiarity.
What was their name?
You met Derulian Moringa.
Ruling Moringa. We, found him out on the road being attacked by the wind.
Oh, Sir Moringa. I'm sorry, I didn't know that he was in danger. That was quite nice of you. What did you say though? I believe the chef and his wife are back in the kitchens right now. If you wish me to go get them.
Yeah, that would be great.
She kind of like steps over to the side of the counter, calls over kind of an attendant, and kind of like after whispering something, the attendant looks over at you all, and after a few seconds comes back with a very large, portly man that seems to come over with a very kind of like confused, puzzled face, and he kind of walks over and goes, "I'm sorry, can I help you?"
Your boy is safe, but
Oh, you saved Derulian, did you?
yes,
From, what did you say?
wind.
Monsters or something?
The bandits.
Bandits, my goodness. He was on a shipment. He was going to get, what is it? Was it, that Gruden spice? It's so rare, but it's not even that good if you ask me, but, oh, the parish root, that's right. You're saying that you saved him from danger.
We did.
He should have
And-
known better.
I mean, probably. But he gave us a bunch of olives, and he gave us these really fancy pieces of paper, and then he said that to come see you, and we could come stay here for the night.
Well, what did you
Or maybe
think of
2
the
or 3.
olives?
They were so 13. Tell
They
the
were
man.
the best olives I've ever had.
Well, good, because they're mine, and I would have nothing less.
Good quality.
Now, you said you saved him and that you would have rooms here, yes?
Yes.
Yes, that is what he promised. Are you actually able to fulfill that promise?
Let me talk with my wife. And he kind of like steps out for a second back into the other room. After a minute or two, kind of steps back in. He goes, "Well, here's the deal. We are quite appreciative of you helping our son. He's quite careless, and we've always told him to go with company, but he's never listened. That being said, we do not take this lightly. Here," and he kind of like walks over to the desk next to this woman that helped you, and he goes, "Here, give them that one." And he kind of points to this set of keys that's underneath. You're not like fully in view of this, but he points to something beneath the counter, and she goes, "Oh, are you sure?" He goes, "Yes. It's not like we're going to get much use out of that anyway. All the fancy ones in town like to have the unique suites. That's so dumb. Yes, give it to them. You give them to them as long as they want. As long as they're here. At least until the coronation is over. I presume that's why you're here, yes?
Maybe. We might stay longer. We don't know. I like the as long as we need them. We'll stop there. We'll agree on that.
You know, I have no problem with that. And while you're at it, as long as you're here, you eat my food for free.
I'm just like nudging 13.
The kind of attendant takes a set of keys out and lays them on the table. She goes, "Oh, well, our humble owner has selected you to have one of the best views in the hotel. It's quite nice. It's quite a large room. It has 4 different beds off of the suite and then an extra for guests. Is that agreeable to you all?"
Do you have a bathtub?
"Oh, yes, of course."
Okay, great. Then yes.
And she kind of gives you these keys, and she says, "Please, let me know if there's anything else we can help with. Welcome to the mango tree." And she kind of slides these over, and she kind of gestures down the hall. She goes, "The stairs to the left, on the 4th floor, first door on the right."
Cool.
And, he goes, "What was your names again? Before I go back to cooking, I like to know who saved my son."
Oh, well, my name is Sivan.
Sivan,
13.
13,
Jackal.
Jackal. Well, I appreciate it, but I've got some cooking to do. Feel free to stop by and say hi as long as I'm not too busy, unless you want hot food on your face.
Okay, we'll probably be back down in like an hour, so.
And I'll see you there.
Right.
He kind of wanders back into the kitchen. And you're left to your own devices.
He's gonna lean over to Savon and just whisper, "Dibs on the tub first."
No, you're going to put a bunch of fur in it. I get to go first.
Respect the rules of dibs.
You always do this.
Well, y'all enjoy. And Jack will
Don't
take
want
his
to
leave.
stay in the fancy place?
No, I wouldn't want to intrude on y'all.
I mean, you can hang out. I know you live here, but like a staycation, you know what I mean? The fancy bathtub. You could even go first.
I appreciate it, but no.
Okay, I'm gonna take off and run towards the direction of this room and try to get to the bathtub before 13 does.
Run!
Just like grab the keys and run.
Okay. I just for fun, make me a quick athletics check, because you're running up 4 flights of stairs.
Okay, fine.
I could do a 13.
Both of you.
Fuzz up that bath.
Oh god. That's a 5.
Okay.
That's a 28.
Okay, so Savon makes it to the stairs first, and about halfway up the first flight, 13, how do you charge up?
Oh, I'll just pick her up and run to the room, honestly.
Alright. You pass by some very fancily dressed, stays here, and they all kind of like, Bobo, like, ugh! Like, as you go by, charge up these 4 flights of stairs, like, chickens, like a bull in a china shop, and you kind of arrive on the 4th floor, where it's kind of like a circular, you've went up like 4 circular stairs that kind of go with a big kind of long cylindrical hole in the middle so you can see all the way down. And you come up to the 4th floor and find a door with kind of like a kind of number 403 scribbled into it, and you open the door to find yourself in a massive, extremely fancy suite. You find that this is kind of like manicured bamboo floors. It's got different, like, very like plushy velvet pillows on the ground and cushions that surround a very nice glass table with an incense burner and full tableware set up on it. You find 2 very well made or rather 4 very well-made beds in 4 different kind of like small rooms on either side. You find there's a large kind of like door that you can move back to find a stone inlaid bathtub with a room for building a fire underneath it. And you find a fireplace that leads outwards as well. And lastly, you get to the kind of like end of the room where there's a kind of like a couch of sorts of different kind of blankets and pillows. You pull back this screen of bamboo, and what you find is a breathtaking view of most of the city of Holizan. You realize now that you had climbed more than you thought, and you see the multiple tiers of the rings that get out to the outskirts of the town, of the city, and you even have a clear view of the spires of golden kind of like ornateness that encompass the ziggurat and palace in the center of the city. You finally see the sun that's finally eclipsing and going down to make a beautiful gradient of purples and oranges and yellows across the sky, and the bustling city of lights down below.
Holy moly. What if we hadn't saved that guy?
Sneaking towards the bath.
And I'm going to say, as we figure out our own initiative and fight of who gets the bath first,
Roll initiative for bath time.
that is where we are going to go to our break. So everyone don't go away, but go away to pet your cats, have a bio break, get a good stretch in, and we will be back in not too long, joining us as they wake up in the morning after this long day. All right, everyone, we'll be right back.
Oh, baby, I love your
All right.
madness.
So long rest.
Welcome.
I still have something that
Here on Open for Adventure, we are making high-quality Dungeons & Dragons content, folks. We have a great big world to share with you, and by becoming a patron, you can help us explore and expand upon this adventure. With your support, we can invest in more amazing artwork, better mics, fancy cameras, and overall stream quality. Not to mention, help us get some amazing new merch that we can use for giveaways. What do you get by becoming a patron? I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the different levels and give you a sneak peek at what you can get at each tier. Did you know that the family of the First Lord Theo, the leader of the rebellion against the Empire, actually invented firearms nearly 25 years prior to the current campaign? The designs for this high-tech weapon are the Delaney family's best-kept secret. Also, they were originally invented by the late First Lady Victoria, Theo's mother. Access to lore leaks like this is what you can expect from the first tier, written in blog-style posts after each weekly session. Ever wondered what goes on off-camera? The next 3 tiers give you exactly that. With Stolen Moments, you can get access to text-based roleplay moments, highlighting experiences that don't make it onto the stream, like Leona's training session with Ray and Asmrin. Stolen Moments Plus gives you access to roleplay moments featuring our guests, non-player characters, and historical figures, featuring the likes of Marshall, Annalena, and even the Empress herself. And Roleplay Addiction takes us to a whole other level. This tier gives you exclusive 30-minute videos of canon interactions not otherwise seen on stream, like late-night drunken interactions between paladins or tender moments featuring your favorite character ships. The Warm Fuzzies is super simple. It's everything I've listed so far, and also you get your name on stream after our weekly regular sessions. Every session. And our Undying Love. And finally, the most epic of all Patreon tiers. Drum roll, please. The Lore Master. This ultimate and final tier gets you first look access at all of the content going into our upcoming, official, Open for Adventure campaign setting. Lore, maps, monsters, items, dungeons, dragons. Go ahead, have a look around, make yourself at home, and consider becoming a patron to help us make this fantasy world a little bit closer to reality.
Oh, hi! My name is Express Love. I'm the Senmarian god of coffee. Did you know that in Senmaria, every cup of coffee is made with found familiar coffee beans? That's canon. In Senmaria, every cup of coffee is good coffee because it's made with love by found familiar. Did you know that every bag of found familiar coffee features artwork from incredible members of the tabletop gaming community? That's canon. Each blend and roast of found familiar coffee features cool D&D names like Thieves' Cant, Face Step, and Pact Magic. In Senmaria, every royal meeting that Ray attends features the Cartographer's Blend, a brew of coffee made by found familiar in conjunction with Devon Rue. Now that's canon. Found familiar coffee. Buy it today.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play and you're fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Once you're pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Once you're pandemonium. The limit of love is endless, I know. Just do what you want with me. Yeah, I want it all. Could care less the cost. I give you my everything. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play and you're fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Once you're pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Once you're pandemonium. Oh, wants your pandemonium. Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane and they're riding away, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. The limit of love is endless, I know. Just do what you want with me. Yeah, I want it all. Could care less the cost. I give you my everything. Some would say I'm insane and they're riding away, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. And give me your freedom. Whoa, yeah, me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane and they're riding away, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. The limit of love is endless, I know. Just do what you want with me. Yeah, I want it all. Could care less the cost. pandemonium. Life is so easy. Whoa, you left me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. The limit of love is endless, I know. Just do what you want with me. Yeah, I want it all. Could care less. The
thing. And we are live. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. We hope you all got some good stretches in, saw an awesome note from our sponsors, and are feeling great. We are jumping back into our game with our friend Jackal, where at the end of the night, when Savan and 13 find themselves at the mango tree, and Conley has taken to making camp outside of town. Jackal has something he wants to do. Jackal, where are we going?
We are going to the palace.
All right. Jackal emerges from the mango tree in the inner ring of Halazan and continues towards the center ring, where very familiar to you but unfamiliar to most. You enter within the compound of the Grand Palace of the Sultan.
I actually think he's going to, in my headcanon,
Sure.
Where he stays is sort of near the cellar or basement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Undercroft of the palace. So
Yep.
he's probably gonna like duck off to the side in a back alley and go into a series of tunnels that
Sure.
just exit toward the palace.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's kind of a like hidden turn here, turn there. Probably if you haven't done this a million times, you probably get lost and make your way through the series of tunnels. Where do you emerge?
He's gonna emerge actually within the dungeon of the palace.
Okay. Yeah, you emerge in kind of a dank, dark stone floor, kind of with the smell of mildew and, dripping water on stone.
And it's not too far from where his room is, but he is going to try and get in contact with the vizier.
Sure.
Honorak.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of emerge from the dungeon and you find the guards that are posted outside. You can either kind of send them, or if you'd like, you can, you know exactly where the vizier's chambers are himself.
I'm going to him.
Okay. So you make your way up through the bowels of the palace, through the winding kind of like stairways, ornate hallways, and very regal structures, up through kind of like a few different levels of the ziggurat, and find yourself in kind of the royal wing, which is mostly reserved for the Sultan's family, and then off to one side you find kind of like a section for political matters, including Onarak's own chambers. You find kind of like a large stone door and two guards standing outside that acknowledge you, and they go, "Sir, should I alert him?"
You should.
"Yes, sir." And kind of disappears for a second. After a couple seconds, kind of comes back to the door and kind of ushers you inside. You enter into a large circular chamber with kind of like, it's almost an antechamber where there's a few different doors off to Onarak's own personal kind of rooms. But you find that your very close advisor to the Sultan at his desk, where at the back of this circular room there's kind of a large bookcase, and you find this kind of shorter but not halfling short man sitting at this desk with a kind of a grayish turban and blue garb, as he always does, ceremonial to the Sultan, scribbling some kind of scripture into a book of sorts. And he goes, "Oh, Jackal, it's you again. Welcome back from your journey. I trust it was successful."
We have a very serious problem. And
Oh.
he's gonna spell.
Oh, my. This is worse than I thought. I thought my worst concerns for now were the festival activities. Do you know how many dancers we have to pay for these silly coronations and all of the political guests? We barely have room in the palace for all the different provincial guards, but it sounds like this is much more of a concern. And
You think?
you're saying that there's a shade that was held in the prison, which we knew about, but is no longer there, and its seal was broken.
Yes.
To be fair, we have not dealt with a shade in my time, nor our Grand Sultans. But I will alert the magicians to make sure that they are protecting the palace. Do you know anything of this shade's power?
No, I don't. But, and he'll talk about the ichor that they found in the prison and how a black ichor is starting to appear in the well that these wind bandits and some of the cabal were trying to get at.
Do you have any samples of this ichor of choice?
No, but I will be able to get you some.
Rightly so. We can get it to our scientists as soon as possible to analyze. Our alchemists might be able to figure out just what it is.
Actually, you can go ask Alamara at the temple of the god that I remember.
Tartaja, yes. For samples, you're saying?
Of the ichor, yeah.
I will send my missive in the morning. Do you have any concerns of the security of the coronation from this?
I absolutely do.
And your suggestions?
However many guards you think we needed, triple it. 10
Wait.
times as many.
We have that manpower. I'll bring it in from the local militia, if need be. I'm not sure what defenses we have against magical onslaught, but if nothing else, our court wizards will do as much as they can, I assure you.
I trust that you'll get it done.
As much as the Sultan deserves, which is all of it. Unfortunately, he still is extremely tight-lipped about his heir's decision, but of course that is his to make.
But you will also inform him about the danger on his life.
Absolutely.
Well, all of ours, but, all for him.
I suppose it is just one more step in the conclusion to assume the shade, you think, is going to come for the Sultan.
It's a risk. It's a risk we can't overlook.
I will keep it in mind for our Sultan and civilization's safety, trust me. I will inform him as soon as I meet with him in the morning.
All right.
Are you to stay in the city now until the coronation?
For a couple of days.
Oh, good. Well, if you keep your ear to the ground and hear anything else, please let me know.
Also.
Yes?
Whenever the heir is named,
Yes?
I owe a favor to somebody who would very much like to meet with them.
A favor? And who is this person?
I don't really think that's any of your concern.
It is the Sultan's concern.
It will be, yeah.
Well, I would presume we do vet everyone that wishes for a Sultan's audience very thoroughly, and you understand the waiting list for to see the Sultan in his court is months long.
like I said, I owe them a favor, and I would very much like to pay that one.
Fair enough, but I will deal with it at the time, and it will be on the Sultan's terms. You understand?
I do.
Fine, but I want to meet this person beforehand. But not now, just whenever you wish.
All right. And Jack will take his leave.
Have a good night. And you exit the chambers of the Vizier.
Yeah. He spirals back down to the basement level.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this very plain stone corridor that ends. There's a couple of doors on the side, and there's what would open underneath one of the towers. And he pushes open the door, and you see what was probably once a very finely decorated room for the more ostentatious spy masters, but right now it kind of looks like a hostel, where there's just these sleeping bags over half of the floor, and you see teens, preteens, all of these kids sleeping in the room, and he's going to just do a cursory glance around the room and look for a couple of specific kids.
Sure. Yeah, you find them. One of them's reading a book in the corner, and the other one's sleeping.
They come into my office.
Okay. They kind of very readily know that anytime you call them in, it's probably important. One of them kind of wakes up and goes, "Is it important?"
It's important.
Okay. Kind of rubs salt, not salt. Just rubs his eyes, and yeah, you call these two kids into your personal office. Do you have a mission for us?
Not quite. And he's going to go to his office door and pull out a key, and then without unlocking the door, he's going to try the lock, or turn the knob, and seeing that it's still locked, then he's going to unlock the door. And usher them in.
Okay, what does Jekyll's personal office look like?
Very Spartan. There are a few shelves on the wall that have a couple of history books, a couple of older, probably outdated maps, and a few tomes of records. But there's just this very plain desk with a ledger in the middle of it, or a lectern, and he's gonna go sit behind it. And behind his desk, there's just another bedroll, but this one doesn't have anybody in it. So there's no easy way to tell you this, but I know both of you were close to Bassett. They didn't make it.
Oh, you mean you found her? What? Is it okay? What happened?
I don't entirely know, but I know that something dangerous is happening, and I will get to the bottom of it, and I will find who did this to him.
But then he might be alive though, right? He could still be out there?
No.
Do we have to? Can we give him? a funeral?
Whatever y'all need, I'm gonna make sure y'all get it.
Who's going to trade me in archery now?
I'll find somebody. It's not gonna be the same. I know that.
Okay, well, you promise you're going to find who did it?
Yes.
Okay. What do you need from us?
Just make them proud.
Okay.
And he'll like pat them on the back and send them back into the room or let them go get fresh air or whatever.
One of them kind of goes out, and the other one turns to you and goes, "Are you sure we're not in danger? Is everything going to be okay?"
We're gonna be okay.
Okay. If you say so.
And once they leave, Jackal's gonna go to the door, lock it again. Which he locks it because if any of the kids are able to get the door open, then they're free to see all of these highly classified records. That's his like test to them. But he's gonna go into the bedroll behind his desk and go to sleep.
All right. And that's where we leave all of our companions in 3 different spots tonight as the moon comes out and the city of Halazan finally falls silent for the day. Everything is quiet and our companions get some long needed rest after a journey back from the prison. And we wake up next morning with a brilliant sunny sky and a bit of clouds today as the city bustles back to life. Who gets up first? What is everyone doing?
13 gets up first for his morning stretches. Heads downstairs, gets some strawberry daiquiris, walks back into the room, kind of into Savon's room, kicks her foot, hands her the daiquiri.
Oh. Well, okay. You know what the girl likes. I'm gonna take the daiquiri.
Absolutely.
Doesn't drink from the straw, just starts licking.
Yeah, it's a really, really tasty daiquiri.
Okay, so what do we... It's like, we have to go meet these people. Why did we agree to do this?
It's the killer day.
But, like, do you just think it's weird that this lady was just like, I'm never gonna tell my secrets. And then she told all of her secrets, and then she was like, do you want to go see some ghosts with me? Like, does anybody else think this is really weird?
You know, some people are very excitable.
Wait, is that about me? Are you talking about me right now? Are you doing that thing where you're, like, not talking about me, but you're talking about me?
Walks away, switching daiquiri.
All right. You want to do anything at the mango tree before you all depart for...
Do you know where this place is?
Who are you
I
asking?
didn't know you were talking to me.
Yeah, to Savon.
Oh, okay.
Do you know where we're meeting up with them?
No, but wait, yes, I do, because, we agreed to meet back in that room where we were talking, where she was spelling all her secrets. But you know what we should do? We should go downstairs and see Mr. Moringa and get some breakfast to go.
Like the way you think.
You and me, buddy. We'll go
All right.
downstairs.
You all go downstairs and find Mr. Moringa manning these very impressive kitchens. It's a very nice dining room, fancy for any kind of like fancy gathering, but there's also kind of, the daily people staying there that are enjoying just a very light breakfast. As you go up to Mr. Moringa, he kind of gives you a couple of packaged kind of like breakfast sandwiches made from a rice bread, outer outer crust, and depending on what you ask for, either kind of a pork and a vegetable filling, or a mushroom and egg one.
Okay, well, we need 4, but does Conley have that thing where he doesn't eat meat? I can't remember. Did he say something about that? Let's get him in the mushroom one just in case, I think.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Yes, we'll do 1 of those and 4 of the other ones. We have lots of friends.
Well, I can't say no, can I? Well, I
No?
could, but
But why would you?
But you make such good food, and we wish to partake.
fine. Just because you saved Zero Derulian. And he kind of brings out 4 more packaged, paper-wrapped sandwiches in a small bag.
Right. I'm going to write down 5 breakfast sandwiches. Or I'll give 2 to 13. 3 breakfast sandwiches.
And I presume you all depart from there?
Yep.
Okay. Jackal and Conley, who's next?
I wake up bright and early in the morning, like last time. I'd like to first check on the condition of all of my friends. How are they doing compared to last night?
Yeah, so you find a lot of your all of your little spirit friends, and when you wake up, you find them kind of like in a cluster on one side of your tent, and you see that they're kind of like moving in this weird sequence. If you're kind of looking over, you see that they're kind of playing some kind of tiny little game of like ball, that they're kicking a pebble back and forth between each other on one side of the tent.
And health-wise, how are they?
You notice that most of them, they look pretty mostly healthy. There's a few that are kind of sitting out and look tired and slightly more kind of like a weaker flame, so to speak. So still there and fine, but a little dimmer than you would normally expect.
Okay, I'd like to pick up one, maybe one of the little water ones, and hold it up to me.
Sure.
Just kind of just check on it and be like, I know this has been very hard on all of you. You're looking okay today, but don't worry. We have kind of an idea on what we are supposed to do next.
It kind of like looks up at you and kind of just like wriggles its watery figure at you.
Yeah. Don't worry. Soon, when we get to where we need to go, this will all work out. You will be fine. Nobody else has to die. Okay? I love you.
It kind of
Back
like
down.
kind of bounces on your hand before you set it back down.
All right. I'd like to count them all. Everyone make it through the night?
Yeah, everyone's there.
Okay, good. Well, with that, I'll wait till their game is done because they look like they're having fun.
Sure.
And then I will, once again, loosen up the pant legs and open up the sleeves and let them all kind of crawl back in. Check to see that they're not in any spot that I'm going to accidentally pinch. And then I'll go out and ride into town on canoe, heading back to the temple.
Okay. How about Jackal? Oh, I guess I should put music on, shouldn't I?
Yeah, he's gonna get up and go back through the town back to the temple.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. Is that really loud for y'all?
A little bit.
Okay, I don't know why it just reset. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you all depart from your respective origins, and what a surprise! You all make it back to the temple at about the same time. Who's there first?
Probably not us.
Probably me. I'm probably there before the sun has even fully crested over the horizon.
Okay, so you make it back to this temple made out of sandstone, and you kind of enter into the front door, which is now open, and you find Rama, one of the priests from last night, and she's seemingly kind of rotating some kind of handle at the back of this room, and as you kind of go over, you find that there's a kind of a series of buckets that on a pulley system that go down deep into a well that, now that you're actually not fighting bandits off, you see is what feeds the pools of emerald that you're around. Is there anything you want to do before waiting for your companions?
I would like to check out this water and kind of like investigate it. However, I need to make sure that it is safe to drink. Do I feel like find anything weird about it? I know there's like a problem with people getting sick, so
Yeah, make me a nature or arcana check.
I will. That is a 15 for nature.
15 for nature. Yeah, so you kind of like take a little bit of the water and test it as you would any other kind of like substance for whether or not it's potable. And as you're kind of like trying to analyze its purity, you find that mostly it looks like very kind of pure and rejuvenating water, not murky in the slightest in most places, and seems to be just very good, clear crystal, kind of like from a spring water. What you find after kind of like sifting your hand through it, it kind of has a tingling feeling on your hand in a positive way. It seems to kind of like rejuvenate and energize. And then kind of like every so often, what you find is that through the pools, as they kind of like undulate and just kind of naturally move around, you find like a dark splotch of kind of like darker water that carries together and just is almost like spotted, and it kind of like as soon as you catch it, it seems to be in a different place. And if you're able to kind of like scoop up a little bit of this darker shade of water that seems to clump together, and this definitely seems different than you were expecting. It seems to be the same base of water, however, it seems to have a kind of an acrid smell to it. It seems to kind of be just like a smell of something dying, and if you touch it, it kind of has a little bit more of a stinging feel than a tingle. And it definitely seems to be less natural, less pure, but you're not sure what it is.
I'd like to take a second, and I'm going to wave my hand over this like section of water, and trying to think of a good word for it. I use the primordial word for purify, and try and cast purify food and drink and see if it does anything to this like black goo.
Okay, yeah, let me look at the spell real quick to see its details.
Purify food and drink. All non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range is purified and rendered free of poison and disease.
Yeah, so you kind of say this command word, and out from you is kind of like a bit of a pulse of energy that comes from your kind of like your hand or wherever you cast it from. And you see this water as it kind of like pulses through it, kind of seems to dissolve and kind of and seems to almost kind of force it into some kind of like evaporating state. And as it kind of makes this sound, it seems to give off this black kind of smog or skunk that comes into the air from it. And what's left is water, and it seems to be more pure, though it's still not quite as vibrant as the other kind of like blue-green water that you had seen, but it seems to have worked.
So it seems like potable water at this point.
You would think so.
So whatever like fancy tingly effects it had is gone, but also the black goo as well.
Yep.
Okay. Right. It's good science.
Cool. Who else is showing up next?
Probably me.
Okay. Anything you do as you stroll in, you see Conley investigating the water next to Rama, who's kind of manning the well.
Whatever the in-world equivalent of just like awkwardly crossing himself as he goes in and just being like, sorry about the death, toward the idol of the god. Just kind of shrug that off and then walk in.
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of definitely more of kind of a bow and a kind of like that sort of regard for and respect.
It's like he's doing that, but he's cringing the whole time, like.
Absolutely. You definitely see on the ground where there are spots where the fallen wind members were left yesterday, but they're mostly cleaned up.
Sweet.
13 and Savon, how are you arriving?
You know, kind of just strolling in. Like, we almost made it here by dawn. It's like pretty close. It'll be fine.
Sure thing. Jackal and Conley, you see Savon and 13 stroll into the temple with a bag of sandwiches.
We brought the breakfast.
Oh. From the mango.
Yup. Look at these. And I'm gonna just manifest the sandwiches. I will offer it to Conley. Do you want the vegetables or the meat? I don't know. What's your deal? Like, what are you?
Whichever one has more protein in it, since we probably are going for a long walk.
I'll reluctantly hand over the bacon one. Reluctantly.
I'll take the veggie one.
Okay. I'll give it to Jackal.
In the meantime, as we're eating these sandwiches, I will semi recreate what I was doing with the science experiment, minus spending a spell slot on a purify round 2.
Sure.
But I'll explain to them. Take a look at this. So, the water is kind of like a magic. If you see here. And I kind of put my fingers in the water and just play with it with my fingers. It has some kind of helpful thing going on with it, but you can't separate it from the bed. And point out the little tiny globule in the water. I tried to purify it with magic earlier. It just turns it into normal water, which is good. But it takes away whatever the crystals are doing to the water, both good and bad.
That's interesting.
I shouldn't drink the water.
Drink the daiquiris.
Well, we definitely got to go daiquiris. That's not even a question. I want to, I'm so sorry. What's this person's name again? The old lady?
Alhamara.
Alhamara. Is she observing us, participating with us, or is she kind of off doing her own thing?
You haven't seen her yet.
Just one of the other 2 priests that were in the room.
Okay. I was just curious. I'm gonna take that glass vial that I picked up yesterday, and I'm gonna put some of this little globby poison in it. Poison stuff.
Sure.
Just because I want it.
Sure. You can do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
It's slightly more viscous than water should be.
Cool.
Rama kind of turns to you as she's kind of manning this well. She goes, I believe Alhamara is in the kitchen if you wish to speak to her. I believe you have a meeting, yes?
Oh, I saw it.
It's fine. It looks like you're enjoying it.
Okay, well.
Do you have a soul too?
Yeah, well, yes, of course. We all have souls, do we not? Unless you've lost it.
Can you lose a soul?
Oh, yes. Quite easily if you're not careful, yes. Some of the monsters that attack at night, well, the children's tales are not just for children. They are quite real. And they can, well, take some unfortunate souls and, well, they're never the same again.
What does it feel like to lose a soul?
You know, I couldn't say. I've never lost mine before. I don't imagine it's pleasant.
Like a spiral into depravity.
Madness sometimes, yes.
Do you know if there is medicine if we find someone who has lost a soul, how to fix it? Do you need a soul to stay alive?
You don't need it to stay alive, but you do need it to stay you, so to speak. if it's not all there, then, well, it sometimes can leave people as what we call husks, unfortunately. It's as though their mind and personality is gone and replaced with something less pleasant. It can be almost demonic at times, or even just aggressive. Most of the time, we try to do as best we can to soothe them, but sometimes they don't wake up after a while.
There is a paw that goes onto Connolly's shoulder. Just look at some politicians. They don't have any souls, and they're,
That is why I am here. Okay. Thank you for talking to me, person.
Absolutely, Rama. Yes, thank you.
Alright, so we need to go in the kitchen.
Yeah, so you walked down the hall, presumably, yeah? Or, I'm sorry,
Yep.
Did you have anything else to say?
Nope.
Okay. You walk down the hall and find Alhamara that is kind of busy at work with different vegetables and a cutting board and a large stone kind of like pan and over an open flame. And as you kind of come in, she goes, "Oh, welcome, come, I'm just preparing the food for the journey, come."
How long do you expect us to be in there?
I would say, depending, it is only about maybe, it is a few hours to get down to the caves, and maybe, well, I don't know how long it will take, but I would say about maybe a good part of the day in order to get there and come back. It is quite deep into the aqueducts, you know.
Alright.
Do you have any questions for our journey? You understand what we are doing, yes?
I mean,
No.
kinda.
Well, I will be able to lead you all the way up to the mouth of the cave, but then from there it will be all in your hands, really, as long as you have the scarf.
Hold up. You said you want to come with me. You didn't say, do you want to just go do this thing for me?
You did say that.
I mean, I can come in. I'm just more frail than I used to be, you understand? I'm not quite the spry druid of my younger years.
Exactly, which is why you'll have backup.
You were also very full of energy yesterday. What happened?
Well, I was shown the most rare scarf in the land. I think I can find that energy in me once in a while.
Just show her the scarf again.
This is not how it works.
Ching! Sparkle, sparkle.
This is a very nice scarf, though, isn't it? I wish I knew how to weave it, but the Wayfinders never reveal their secrets of how they made it.
So,
Okay, then.
Are you ready to go? We can talk more on the way.
Are you ready? She still cooking?
Yes, I will be ready in just a few minutes.
Do you know if there's anything we might have to face or fight or fix? Any idea on what we shall see in this soul place?
Well, it's hard to say exactly. Unfortunately, as the issues regarding the monsters outside have been increasing, unfortunately, I've heard quite monstrous things from inside the caverns. I'm not sure if there's it sounds like crashing rocks together. I haven't gone inside myself in quite a while because of that, and not many people, well, volunteer to go in with me. You understand?
But you're still getting the sparkling water out of there.
Well, yes, of course. Where else would we get it? They don't call it the Emerald Pools for no reason. It is only from this place that this precious water is found.
Alright.
Well, it sounds like there is a fight. That sounds better.
That's what I was hoping to avoid by staying at the mouth of the cave, but I will join you. I suppose going over to Ravea is not something that is for the unpracticed, so I suppose that makes sense. It is a great place of power, this crystal cave. It has earth magic coursing through it in all parts. It is quite fascinating. There's a lot of earth djinn that love to pop in there from time to time. It seems as though they like to stop there on their way.
Oh, what did you say? Say that again?
No, I'm sure you're familiar with the Tao, of course, yes?
Oh, yes, I know all about the Tao. For sure.
Well, you understand they use Ravea as a sort of portal. You see, they come from the elemental planes, and, well, if they ever stop into our world intentionally, then, well, they can come through Bravea and then to the places that emanate magic from Bravea. And, well, this spring is one of those places, and it's very connected to earth magic, plant growth, and things like that, which is why we have our wonderful statue to Tartaja right outside.
13. Do you think if we go in there, we can get to where all those Earth Dao are?
Probably if I headbutt it hard enough.
Well, I don't know if that's how that works, but that's where we gotta go. Okay. Okay, then I guess we'll go. To help you.
All right.
And that's the only reason.
Then have some tea, and then I'll be ready in just a sec. She kind of finishes cooking up some kind of like rice dish, and some kind of like stir-fried vegetables, and some kind of poultry, peppers, and such. And kind of packs it into these kind of like wooden kind of like boxes and containers, and has kind of a sling in our back, like a sling pack that she loads them into, before she kind of takes the rest of her things and kind of is ready to go. Any last things you need before we make our way down to the aqueducts? I hope you're ready to get slightly wet. There's a lot of water down there.
Okay.
Okay, just a shove at Savan.
All right. Well, if you none of you all have any other questions or concerns, then she starts leading you off to your journey out of this temple and out to the kind of like open streets of the residential ring of the city. As you get out, you kind of like pass by, the same kind of ways you came in, except for you are led down one of the alleys to kind of like what seems to be like a gutter where a lot of the trash and a lot of the waste of the city is gone. And she leads you down to a ladder that is kind of like goes down kind of farther than you thought into the actual roads. And you find yourself in one of the tunnels that Jackal wouldn't be too unfamiliar with. I mean, you might not have been in this particular tunnel that often, but basically a lot of brick, semicircular kind of arched tunnels that lead deeper into the bowels of the city. She goes, "This is the point of no return. You ready to go?"
We're good.
It's really fascinating to see the architecture of the aqueducts. Have you ever seen them before? As she's leading you down.
No.
I don't like to go to town most of the time.
Oh, I suppose I understand that. I like to take some time in the nature as well, but, well, this is a feat of engineering. And basically, after leading you down these tunnels that slope into kind of like more staircases, you go down 1 flight, 2 flights, 3 flights, 4 flights. You've probably been walking down just stairs in these tunnels for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And as you have no clue how far from the surface you are, she kind of like lights a torch as she gets down to the lower levels. And finally, an opening comes where from the kind of like stairs, she goes, "Oh, here we are!" And she kind of like takes her torch and holds it out in front of you. And she goes, "Can anyone light this room for you all? It's quite impressive. If not, well, you know what? I've got it." She kind of goes, like, rubs her hands together. Whew! And from her hands come like a few different, like 5 different orbs of light that kind of like bounce from her fingers and kind of echo out in front of you. And from what you all see into this dark cavern, you now see is lit up from these lights a massive, expansive room full of water and pillars that make up a cavern at least 200 feet tall, and you can't see how deep it is. But basically, It's a just an expansive room full of the water supply of the city, and these kind of like regularly spaced grids of columns that go through. And right next to kind of like this platform where you all step out onto, there's a small dinghy, or rather two dinghies, that lie kind of awaiting a passenger down some steps into the reservoir. She goes, can you all know how to row a boat, yes?
Flexes and Pat's arm.
Good. Then let's get in.
Are these big enough for us?
They are. You see that they're probably like six-person dinghies, or 4 to 6 people would fit in them. 6 may be a little sardine-like, but yeah, you think you can hold your weight.
Okay, we'll just climb in.
Okay. You all climb into these 2 dinghies, and 13 holding the rowing, the oars of one, who's taking the other one. She goes, "Not going to make an old lady be the rower, are you?"
Oh, I was waiting for canoe to get to all before I learned how to do boats.
These are not canoes.
Is that not the same thing?
No, I would call these a dinghy. Canoes are much thinner.
But they are both boats.
Yes, of course. But of course there's multiple types of boats. And you're not around water much, are you?
I am probably around water more than you. I come from Vagnorosi.
Oh.
The river cuts through the jungle. But like I said, I was waiting for canoe to get older before I learned how to do boat.
Well, let's shove off then. Who's taking the oars?
I mean, here's the thing. You're just like, look, we're...
I'll get up on the other oar.
Okay.
Probably just like standing up.
Sure.
I mean, you're doing great.
Onwards! This way! And she kind of like takes a direction, and in this expansive, massive room, she points to your left, which is kind of an arbitrary direction at this point, and off you go with torchlight ahead of you. As you kind of, you're accompanied by nothing more than the sounds of dripping water into the reservoir, the oars as they kind of slosh into the deep water, and it sounds like some kind of chittering of maybe some kind of vermin or some sort of bird or bat that's on the ceiling as you go by. It's very cavernous and spacious and echoes throughout the chamber, and you lose sight of the platform as you kind of like continue slowly along this water.
As we're slowly drifting down the water, because of previous statements, I will keep an eye out in case any strange hostilities come to greet us.
Sure, absolutely. After probably about it's quite a while to travel through dinghy. She goes, "I'm sorry, this was the closest entrance, but it's quite a ways." And after about 20-25 minutes of paddling and rowing, you finally kind of see this tunnel wall start to expand to your left, and it kind of comes around to another one of these platforms. However, this one seems much less man-made. This seems to be a roughly hewn cliff of rock that juts out into the reservoir and kind of seems to expand into a cave where the man-made brick work kind of has just gone around it and left it alone. She goes, "That's the one. It's quite a lonesome cave, don't you think? It's quite cute."
I'm just gonna cast mage armor on myself.
Okay, absolutely.
Just keep rowing.
Yeah, as you keep rowing, you get up to the platform. You actually hit it because you've been kind of so focused on rowing. She goes, "Oh, stop rowing. It's fine. Goodness."
Jackal collapses on his back.
She goes,
I have a strength of 11.
Are you okay?
Just
A
Andy.
sandwich.
Would this rowing session count as a short rest if it's light activity?
Short
not
rest is
rowing,
usually an
yeah.
hour, but what's your game here?
Is part of my barbarian subclass Path of the Beast is I can take a long or short rest and change the benefit of my bestial soul ability, and I wanted to switch that to swimming, which gives me a swim speed instead
Sure.
of climb speed.
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. But yeah, you've probably been at it for about 20 minutes to half an hour, so it's not too not like a full short rest for the purposes of healing, but I'll let you do that for sure. As you kind of hit the side, she kind of checks on Jackal and she goes, "Who's going to help me up?"
Picks
Is
up
it
the
like a
little old lady?
ledge or something?
Yeah,
we
so
gotta
it's
climb?
kind of, yeah, you just gotta there's like a pole to tie up the dinghies, and then there's just again a roughly hewn slab of rock.
Old person. Got it.
Well,
Should have left her.
Well,
What
I'm gonna
was
climb
that?
up onto the dock.
what did you say? Did anyone hear that?
No, somebody said something way down there. I don't know. There's nothing.
Oh, the echoes in here are outrageous. It's quite interesting.
I'll reach a hand out to Jackal. You ready to go?
I guess so.
Come on.
Pull himself up.
Now begins the walk into the cave, but it'll be a little bit before we get to the actual crystals. This is where I'm not so sure what's next, so I'm gonna let you go first.
Alright then.
I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace on all of us.
Thank
Okay.
you. Are the dancing lights still with us?
Yeah, she has them like nearby.
Okay.
If you want, she can kind of use them to continue in front of you.
Yeah. I cannot see in the dark. I don't know. I think all of you can. No?
Genasi have dark vision? I
Fire
can see in the
Genasi
dark.
do.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
some
fire.
do, but I don't.
See dark vision on a character sheet. I spend so much time as a DM that
It's
character
on-
sheets are still disorienting sometimes.
On the left side, there's a box in the middle that says senses.
Yeah, okay, so yeah. Alright.
All right. So, yeah, you continue into this cave opening where a roughly hewn rock archway is kind of leads you into kind of a very naturally hewn kind of cavern of sorts that leads back into a tunnel shape and irregularly kind of turns this way and that. And you kind of start a trek into this dark cave. You're kind of met with the sounds of dripping water again, but seems to be more like wet ground in different parts of the rock. There's kind of different formations of tiny crystals here and there that you see along the path, and signs of kind of bats. You hear kind of like the screeching of different bats from time to time, and potentially signs of small vermin. But you continue along this winding cave path. You come to an area where this cavern opens up into kind of like a series of very thin paths over a chasm. And she goes, "Oh, I forgot about this part. This was the other reason why I didn't really want to come. It's quite difficult to get across. I hope you all have sound footing."
How far across is this cavern?
You are you asking that, or are you asking the DM?
I was asking the DM.
You can tell from the dancing lights that as those extend out, it's at least probably 200 feet, diameter across.
And is there a discernible way across?
Yes. So basically, think of this as kind of like ledges and kind of like spires of stalagmites that have been smoothed out, that have been kind of like that are the stepping stones across this very chasmous, treacherous, cavern opening. it seems like you kind of have to make it from one little island to the next to get across this area. And there's probably 4 different separate islands that you kind of need to make your way between.
How far apart do they seem
They seem to
from
be
each other?
Yeah, so they're kind of like varied in terms of like one's like kind of sloped and the other one's, like on a ramp and that kind of thing. So it's pretty dangerous looking from what you can tell. There's one that's kind of like 4 feet between each other, and there's one long one that seems to be about 6 feet away from each other. So it looks like it might be quite a challenge to make sure that you maintain your footing. Alhamar turns to you all and says, I can actually do this part on my own, luckily, but I just need to, well, it'll just be a different form, you see? A little bit more spry.
Great.
Right. So I guess I'll just try. I don't have anything tricky up my sleeve. I'm just going to try and hop, skip, and jump my way around this thing.
Okay, yeah, so as Alamar says this, by the way, so she kind of takes a second to turn away from you all, and you see that kind of, she says, oh, I might be able to help you if you fall, but don't count on it, okay? And she kind of like turns away, and suddenly it's like her robes completely collapse into her form, and then from it you see a dipping figure that stretches out into the darkness below, and you hear the flap of a large wing. And what you see, for those of you that have good dark vision or just see the glint, is some seems like a large eagle that takes off into the cavern below. So, Conley, how would you like to make this across? You said you want to hop, skip, and jump, yes?
Well, upon seeing this, Conley will kind of like pause and think to himself, just an early day. No, I don't want to. Kind of just mumbling something to himself, but I will just use my feet.
Okay. Anyone who wants to cross these, you can make a combination of athletics and acrobatics checks to cross. And one fail does not necessarily mean you're plunging to your death. However, it will make consecutive tries harder.
Could I maybe... I want to try to cast Mold Earth and like pull fragments of the rocks out of the sides of these stalagmites. I think that's the one that goes up. And like position them up between so we have like extra steps in between. I can only do 2 at a time, so we have to kind of move as a group. But if you let me do that, I can make like a little 5-foot cube of earth for us to step on in between.
I am reading. Let's see.
I mean, we do have several days to kill, or multiple days to kill, so...
It's a cantrip.
It is. I am seeing that the ability to excavate earth and such specifically says it's with loose earth. And the stone bits are usually to do the other parts of the cantrip. So I will say that... this is really hard. I'd say that there's little bits of dirt that are around the different parts of the cave that you can extend the kind of like original platform that you're starting off from. But I'm going to say it's not a full extension like a bridge across. But I'll say that you can give everyone a +1 to their roll.
That's better than nothing.
It's just like a little lip that kind of lets you get a little farther out.
I'll take it.
Right.
Like
Well,
a
that
rock
bumps my
wall.
check up to a 15.
Okay. Yeah, so you're... this is going to be 3 sets of checks. The first one, with a 15, Conley seems to take a leap off and gracefully lands on the other side of the first platform.
This is acrobatics or athletics, sorry.
Either one. You can choose.
That is a... If I choose acrobatics, that is a 21 with my little +1.
Okay, yeah, so on with this lip, you are able to even more gracefully than Conley, land on your feet with no issue on the other side of the platform.
13 turns, walks down the hallway to get himself some speed. 27 athletics.
Oh my god. You're like, you make a running start and you like land halfway to the next one.
Terrifying.
Pretty impressive.
Just laughing at the fact that I took jump and long strider both off of my spells. Last night,
Oh
so
no.
I'm laughing because I took my climb speed off.
Just Assassin's Creeding it. 20.
Yeah, you're good. All right, 2 more checks from everyone. This next one is kind of like going on a slope, so you kind of have to like land on a ramp. It's a little bit harder.
A nat 20 for a 23.
Okay, Savon makes a cross.
16.
You were able to kind of like scrabble up the side. Not the most graceful landing, but you're able to get yourself up.
Like do that stumble.
21.
Yeah, 13's able to get a clean landing.
Gavin?
So Jackal takes a leap off, and he gets plenty of distance. However, as you kind of like, you realize
It's like
you didn't
trips on a
plan-
rock.
Yeah, you don't get quite as much momentum as you thought you would, and your body, like your chest, slams into the platform itself. Your arms are up on the ledge, but you are dangling your feet off of the thing.
I'd like to. Can I reach for Jackal from here?
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe-
this would be so much easier to pull myself up if I wasn't rowing the fucking boat.
Yeah, I will.
Probably, yeah.
I'll definitely
that's
reach
too
over,
bad.
like grab at the back of your shirt and help, like pull you up onto the ledge.
Yeah, absolutely. With the strength of your friends, you're able to kind of scrabble back up. This last one is the hardest. It seems to be the one that's about a 6 to 7 foot gap, and it doesn't seem like it's got any treacherous terrain. It's just a long jump.
Ugh, a jump! Damn it! It's killing me. All right, here we go. That's the wrong check.
If y'all want to do anything, you can add to it with whatever you want. But
It's just like, do I want to die here?
I have 2 wild shapes. I'm saving them. Well,
I
I
rolled,
can't even say it. I don't have anything that I can do.
I rolled an 11 for my manual long jump.
okay, yeah. So Conley, you take a running start, but it looks like you take off and you realize that the second that you jump that you're not quite gonna make it. It looks like you're able to get your arms just barely clawing up onto the rock, but it's gonna take another check to try to pull yourself up. Make me an athletics check.
All right, that's 13.
Okay, you are able to just like as you're realizing you're losing your footing, get some hand
Swing my
holds and
leg.
yep,
oh my god.
and scrabble up onto the last ledge.
Okay.
do you want me to throw you across?
I don't. Okay, don't even.
Can
first
catch.
of all, no.
Fastball
This
special.
is not.
Fastball special.
No.
Come on. It's okay. I can catch.
I just don't.
Connor,
8.
no.
Okay, yeah. So Jackal takes another jump off after being exhausted from rowing for a while, and roll me a dexterity saving throw. As
I'm going to just misty step to the other side.
Sounds good.
24?
Okay, so Jackal is completely missing the jump. There's no hope that you're even clinging on to this rock. You just barely like can touch it as you're falling. However, as you kind of like realize you're starting to fall into the abyss, a blur from below kind of flashes into view, and suddenly you kind of get a knee-jerk reaction to hold on to something as it swoops under you. You hear a thud, and it kind of dips under, but you realize that you're in flight, and beneath you is the body of this large eagle that is swooping underneath and bringing you back up.
Well, I'll certainly appreciate that.
The eagle kind of like turns you and goes, "Ah!" and kind of like swings you over back to the ledge.
Right.
I got a 16.
Okay, you are barely able to make yourself over and kind of like almost lose your footing, but you're able to get across. And I think that's everyone with Savan Misty Steps, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Savan
He's scary.
takes the last one and flashes into existence on the other side. Alhamara kind of turns out of her eagle form and she goes, "That was quite impressive up until that last one, and I'm glad I was there, Jackal. It is the least I could do for you saving me. Are you doing all right?"
Do you need to rest?
I'm just peachy.
Well, onwards and upwards. And with that, she starts to lead you further. Now that you're on the other side of the cavern, you enter into one more stretch of tunnels, which this point you can hear rushing water and kind of like little streams coming through the tunnel as you're going up. And you start to enter into a kind of like set of caves where you see some lights up above and all around. And as you get closer, you see that you're in a cave that opens up into a massive cavern full of luminescent crystals of light greens and emissive purples and pinks and red, and there seems to be vines of all sorts and plants that seem to thrive down here in this cavern, emitted by brilliant light. And there's kind of a stream that flows through these tunnels underneath you. And as you kind of enter into these luminescent crystal caves, that is where we are going to call it a session.
All right.
All right. You made it. I was holding my breath for a second, but we made it. Thanks for tuning into our session tonight, everyone. We really appreciate you sticking with us. They got a lot done. Let's go and have a thank you to our wonderful Warm and Fuzzies, and then we're going to do sign-offs, because why not? I'm changing it up.
Why not?
So,
Keep it fresh.
for our wonderful Patreon supporters, these are the supporters that have supported us for a while and at an amazingly generous tier. We want to thank you all for your generosity and your support. And so we're going to go through each of them, starting with Bel Chavez!
Bel Chavez!
Christina!
Christina!
We have Deborah! We have L Street Gaming!
L Street.
We have Rick O.
Rick.
Oh.
And Strix.
Strix.
Thank you all so much for your wonderful support of what we do here. We do appreciate it, and it definitely means a lot to us, friends. Let's go around and do our sign-offs. Just give us a quick little plug, what your favorite part is, who you are, and yeah, who wants to start?
I'll go first. Why not? I never go first. Hi, I'm Chris, and I really like to hang out. And if you like to hang out, you should do so with me on Twitter at Kiss of Hemlock. I am an actual play podcaster and streamer. The next thing, really the main thing right now that I'm working on is we are doing a weekend charity gaming thing over on Fae Forge Academy, FaeFest 2021. It's going to be 4 games over the weekend. Some super cool DMs raising money for Black Girls Code. So I would highly suggest that you check it out. It will be my DM debut on the internet, so should be a fun time. Let's see, my favorite part was probably the race to the bathtub, honestly. It's probably my favorite. Yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Who's next?
Well, we can go counterclockwise. How's it going, everybody? I am Media Flare, voice actor for hire and tabletop fan. You can find me here and on my own Twitch channel where I play some survival and narrative games to showcase my excellent survival skills and narrative talent. And I would say, what was my favorite? I don't know what my favorite would be this time. I'm really enjoying the mental image of this like cavern that we're in. So I'm looking forward to exploring this more. I'm pretty excited about it.
Awesome. Who's next?
Hey everybody, it's me, RJ. You can catch me at RJ282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my friends. I'm in a lot of shows, and I will tweet whenever I'm live. Favorite part today? It was a bit of a nail biter, but when Jackal got paralyzed, I was just like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Awesome.
Hoi!
I'm Cyber. You can find my stuff out on my Twitter. Now has a pinned post with like all my links, which is very good. So check that out. Check out your own TV. It's got a lot of cool people doing a lot of cool things, and yeah. My favorite. My favorite part was talking to my kiddos. Like, it was horrifying, but like I liked just like, hey, this is my room. This is my locker. Here you go. It's not much, but it's mine. So yeah.
Awesome. And lastly, I'm Luke. You can find me here on Twitch and on Twitter, and even on the Open for Adventure Discord at Dr. Petrichor. This is my main stream thing at the moment, but I will be participating in an awesome charity event over on Mare Feathers channel on March 16th for an awesome birthday entire day full of charity streams. I'm going to be playing in a all cat themed one shot called Much a Mew About Nothing, I believe is the name, which I can't wait to do. And yeah, come check us out March 16th. It's for a great cause, and it's awesome people. My favorite part for tonight, I think, was the introduction of Alhamara. I didn't know what I was expecting when I first brought her out, but I really like the kind of like the flack that our wonderful party likes to incorporate. And I don't know, I thought that was a fun character to bring out. Yeah, so I think that's it for tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into our stream tonight. We really appreciate it. Feel free to check out our Twitter, our Patreon, and our awesome Discord. And yeah, we hope to see you same time, same place next week. Bye, friends. Have a great night.
Bye!